Chapter 758. It's your son, Tang Zhong. He opened the wall of the universe. My son? Wang Zhong was stunned. Yes, everyone was worried that you would be angry, so they didn't dare to tell you, but this matter can't be hidden anymore. Wow, so it's my son who opened the wall of the universe. Wang Zhong smiled, and a sharp light flashed in his turbid eyes. No wonder Tang Zhong has been avoiding my eyes these few times. It turns out that he is hiding something from me. Bring Tang Zhong to me. Got it, Elder Tang. 3 hours later, Tang Zhong was brought over in a daze. Wang Zhong stood up with the help of someone. Dad, why did you call me over? Tang Zhong asked in horror. Wang Zhong's eyes were like lightning, as if he could see through Tang Zhong. This light made Tang Zhong tremble in fear. Dad, I don't have a son like you. Wang Zhong shook his head. You disappoint me too much. As soon as the words fell, Wang Zhong took out his pistol and shot Tang Zhong dead with a bang. Everyone was stunned. Immediately after, everyone was in awe. This was the legendary courage of Elder Tang. In the face of the big picture, family and so on were fleeting clouds. Tang Zhong had made a big mistake, so Wang Zhong put justice before family and didn't leave any face. Drag the body out. Next, I'll think about what to do next. Wang Zhong's tone was flat, as if he was talking about a trivial matter. Yes, Elder Tang. After the body was dealt with, Wang Zhong learned about the situation. Old Yao, blood demon, scholar. Wang Zhong murmured. After he learned about the cultivation methods of these 3 people, he immediately realized that these 3 people were most likely evil cultivators. And that world was occupied by evil cultivators. Evil cultivators were in power, and the righteous sects had declined. It was indeed difficult to get rid of these 3 people. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong decided to deal with Blood Demon first. The Blood Demon cultivated by sucking blood. As long as his blood was cut off, he wouldn't be able to absorb energy. He would definitely be exhausted to death. On the other hand, Wang Zhong had also thought of a very good idea, which was the weakness of the Blood Demon. Thus, Wang Zhong gave the order. The 50,000 Black Dragon Fleet, which consisted of 50,000 battleships of various sizes, headed toward the planet where the Blood Demon resided. Most of the people on this planet had been killed, and the Blood Devil was now in a sea of blood. The sea of blood around him seemed to have a mind of its own. It was boiling and roaring. Blood Devil half closed his eyes and sighed comfortably. The quality of the people on this planet is so good. Compared to where I used to live, the people there were all skinny and weak. But the people here are full of essence, blood, and nutritious. It's really good. Suddenly, his consciousness discovered that tens of thousands of battleships were rushing over from the universe. He revealed a disdainful smile. A bunch of ants actually came again. Just as well, I've just finished cultivating the Blood Sea Divine Technique. How about I let this bunch of iron lumps try out my divine technique? Whoosh! The Blood Demon activated his divine technique and shrunk the ground into inches. In the blink of an eye, he entered the universe. Sir, target found. This was a batch of low-level battleships. They were all robots. Aim and fire. The high-level robots immediately gave the order. There was no need to use any tactics to deal with this enemy. They could just shoot casually because the purpose of this battle was to exhaust the Blood Demon's strength. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Countless lasers shot at the Blood Demon's body. A thick layer of blood blocked these attacks. The Blood Demon had a smug look on his face. Your strength is not bad, but unfortunately, I'm a top-notch fighter. You guys are not enough to deal with me. He used ground shrink again and came to the middle of the battleships. After destroying a few battleships, he prepared to absorb the blood of the passengers inside. He had indeed absorbed the blood, but the taste was not right. Countless red liquids mixed together and were absorbed by him. However, not only did it not increase his strength, but it also kept on exhausting his strength. What the hell is this? The Blood Demon felt that after absorbing these liquids, his strength had become weaker. He kept on exhausting his strength. He gave up on absorbing them. The bright red liquids fell on some of the battleships, making ear-piercing sounds. This blood is highly poisonous. The blood demon was stunned. Then, he realized that the corpses just now were not made of flesh and blood, but metal. These metal people did not seem to be afraid of pain or death. Even if the battleships were destroyed, these metal people still pounced on him without fear of death. Although these metal people could not walk in the universe, they spat out flames from their backs and pounced on him. What the hell is this group of people? The blood demon had never seen robots before. Absorbing the liquids from these human bodies made him very uncomfortable. Therefore, he decided not to let this group of robots get close. He snorted. Blood, see divine art. The blood that covered the sky and covered the earth was like a long river, rising from his back. While the battle was going on, another drone team quietly came to the blood pool where the blood demon was cultivating. Looking at the situation at the front line on the screen, Wang Zhong, who was lying on the hospital bed, thought about the blood demon's weakness. He used to be a cultivator and knew that every cultivator had a weakness. The blood demon entered the path with blood. Blood was the source of his strength. Therefore, he needed to pollute the blood in his body now. On the screen, the drone team sank into the blood pool. All kinds of modern chemical poisons were released in the blood pool. Seeing that the drone team's plan was successful, Wang Zhong heaved a sigh of relief. The low-level battleship fleet has been annihilated. Behind Wang Zhong, an officer lowered his head. This officer was the robot instructor, Lin Wui. He was mourning for his people and the robot army. That's right, all the robots were involved in this battle. These robots were injected with all kinds of chemical blood for the blood demon to absorb and pollute his blood. Although these robots did not have any intelligence or thoughts, Lin Wui still felt sad to see so many of his people die. However, the plan was extremely successful. After absorbing the tainted blood, the blood demon cursed in his heart. He had no choice but to return to the blood pool to absorb the fresh blood. However, he was soon stunned in the blood pool. The fresh blood was emitting a foul smell. His pale face became even paler. My blood, how did it become like this? The blood demon climbed out of the blood pool. Because the blood in his body was contaminated, he could not summon any strength. At this moment, an armored team appeared. These were all Krypton armored teams. They raised their guns and fired as soon as they arrived. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Countless attacks landed on the blood demon's body, forcing him to retreat again and again. You bunch of rats, what method are you using? The blood demon roared in anger, but it was useless. He could only watch as his strength became weaker and weaker. Chapter 759. On the screen, Wang Zhong and the officers behind him breathed a sigh of relief after seeing the blood demon fall. Soon, the Black Dragon fleet arrived from all directions and attacked the blood demon. The blood demon's power was getting weaker and weaker until he finally turned into a mass of black blood. The blood demon of this generation had fallen. Wang Zhong knew how difficult it would be to deal with these cultivators. Seeing the blood demon finally die, he said in a deep voice, "The next step is to deal with that scholar." Well, Elder Tang has a way. All the people present were full of admiration. The blood demon has fallen. The old medicine man, who was still refining medicine, pinched his fingers and opened his eyes. He smiled and said, "I didn't expect the rats of this world to have some skills. Unfortunately, their luck won't be so good now. When I finish refining the divine medicine, this group of rats will be my medicinal ingredients." On the other side, the scholar, who was lying on a bed, threw a new dry corpse off the bed and said, "Hey, the blood demon's aura is gone. Did this guy kick the bucket? He's really a piece of trash." Suddenly, his mind stirred. This was because he sensed something interesting. A lot of warships had come in the starry sky. Are they here to deliver food again? He stood up and entered the universe using earth shrinking. A group of ants dares to make a move in front of this scholar. Go to hell. Just as he was about to attack, a voice suddenly came from the warship. This voice came from a special device that could transmit sound in a vacuum. Your Excellency Scholar, I'm Lin Haowen, the commander of the Wan Tai Federation's transport team. I've been ordered by my superiors to send you 3,000 girls. 3,000 girls. The scholar narrowed his eyes and asked, "Why are you sending them to me?" "Sir, I admire your Excellency's peerless martial arts. You're an outstanding person. I request you to be the Emperor. The entire universe will listen to your orders." "Ha ha ha. Good good. Your sir is quite sensible." Wang Zhong took in everything that was happening before his eyes. He was a cultivator and knew that cultivators were very strong. No matter how advanced their technology was, it was still not enough to deal with them. However, because cultivators had been in seclusion for a long time, they did not understand the ways of the world and did not know that they might be deceiving them. The scholar nodded proudly and said, "Let me see." The scholar walked forward and entered one of the battleships. As expected, there were many women lying inside. "Ha ha ha, not bad. Let's sleep here." The scholar was dissolute by nature and did things without restraint. After he finished speaking, he began to cultivate. But at this moment, the warship suddenly exploded. Black hole bomb was the most powerful explosion in the universe. Its power was comparable to a black hole. The downside was that the black hole bombs couldn't be fired, so they hadn't used the black hole bombs to deal with these cultivators before. Now, the scholar had finally been lured over, and the black hole bomb was detonated. In order to let the scholar walk into the interior of the battleship by himself, Wang Zhong had spent a lot of money. More than 5,000 battleships exploded at the same time. Every warship was filled with humanoid robots. The explosion of 5,000 black hole bombs turned the area into a huge black hole. Behind the black hole, the scholar was blown to smithereens. The scholar had fallen just like that. "That's great. Only old Yao is left." Looking at the huge explosion at the front line, the people in the meeting hall shouted excitedly. Wang Zhong said, "Everyone, don't get too excited. This blood demon and the scholar are relatively easy to deal with. However, this old man is not easy to deal with." "Elder Tang, why do you say that?" The people around him were puzzled. "Did you notice that this old man's medicine cauldron can change its size? It's obviously not an ordinary item. According to my estimation, this medicine cauldron has the defensive power to resist the black hole bomb, so it can't be underestimated." So powerful. Everyone was shocked. Although they didn't know how Elder Tang knew this, no one dared to question him. "Elder Tang, how do we deal with this old man? Although this old man is old, he has killed the most people. Blood Demon and the Scholar only killed a few people to practice their skills, but this old medicine man used the entire planet's population to fill his medicine cauldron. It's terrifying. Yeah, the number of people this man has killed is several times more than Blood Demon and the Scholar combined." Listening to the complaints of the people around him, Wang Zhong waved his hand and said, "I know. I'm going to do that." 3 days later, old Yao was refining medicine alone. This Blood Demon and the Scholar are really weak. They were actually killed by a group of ants. Old Yao sneered and looked at the people screaming in the cauldron. He sighed and said, "If I take this cauldron of medicine back, I'll definitely be the world's #1 pharmacist. The Pharmacists Association and whatnot will have to stand aside." At this moment, with a thought, countless fleets came from the universe again. "This group of ants wants to deal with me. Fine, I'll go and meet them." Old Yao shrank the earth into inches and entered the universe. He didn't waste time and raised his hand to turn several warships into powder. "Fire the cannons, fire the cannons." The warships fired their laser cannons. Unfortunately, old Yao didn't even think about dodging. If he entered a place where there was no one, every warship that came close would explode. When he attacked, a robot squad quietly entered the place where he placed the medicine cauldron. This robot squad was carrying out Wang Zhong's plan. Old Yao was indeed very strong, but a large part of his strength came from this medicine cauldron. If the medicine cauldron was gone, old Yao would lose his source of strength. At that time, everything would be simple. The robot squad successfully entered the medicine cauldron. With a click, a black warhead the size of an arm appeared in the cauldron's stomach. The external defense of this medicine cauldron might be amazing, but the internal defense is definitely weak. Wang Zhong thought. After the bomb was placed, the robot squad left. The warships in the universe had finally completed their mission of buying time. They were all wiped out. Old Yao stood with his hands behind his back in disdain. He looked at the countless wreckage of the warships and said, "You guys overestimate yourselves. Wait until I succeed in my divine technique. All of you will be my medicine." Returning to the planet, he entered the medicine cauldron as usual and began the blood sacrifice. Wang Zhong, after checking through the satellite, decisively ordered, "Detonate." This time, there were a total of hundreds of nuclear warheads placed in the medicine cauldron. With Wang Zhong's order, the nuclear warheads exploded. There was a buzzing sound inside the medicine cauldron, and a huge explosion was heard. The legendary treasure, the immortal refining medicine cauldron, exploded. The power produced by the explosion of such a treasure was no small matter. When the smoke dispersed, everyone could only see old Yao's stooped body slowly crawling on the ground. Everyone's expression changed greatly. This immortal cultivator was indeed powerful. Such an explosion actually didn't kill him. What should they do now? Robot squad, even if we have to grind him to death. Wang Zhong ordered. Chapter 760. Although Old Herb Man was still breathing, he was in a very bad state. He crawled on the ground with difficulty, cursing the people of this world for being despicable. They actually sneaked into his medicine cauldron and planted something that could explode. The defense of his medicine cauldron was indeed amazing, but the inside was weak. Under the explosion, he suffered a backlash. Not only did his realm drop, but he was also seriously injured. This was unbearable. At this time, the surrounding robot squads rushed over fearlessly. "If you dare to come near me, I'll kill you." Old Herb Man tried to threaten them. But he didn't know that these robot squads didn't have intelligence at all. This battle took more than a month before Old Herb Man was gradually tortured to death. After it was over, Wang Zhong ordered that every country should carry out a deep reflection to prevent such a thing from happening again. As for the place where the wall had been opened, Wang Zhong ordered it to be blocked again. This matter was recorded in history under his request. He asked everyone to remember that the wall of the universe couldn't be opened. Anyone who opened the wall of the universe would be dealt with capital punishment. After the battle ended, within a few days, Wang Zhong's body became more and more unbearable. He fell on the bed and fell into a coma. While in a coma, he had a dream. In this dream, he returned to the past. He was just a slave who wanted to become an upper-class person. After sneaking into the Steel City where the upper-class people lived, he found that the Steel City wasn't as good as he thought. There was a wider universe above his head. There were even other universes beyond this universe. This world was infinitely big. Maybe this dream is real. This was Wang Zhong's last thought. In reality, on the display screen that showed Wang Zhong's vital signs, a horizontal line was drawn. Wang Zhong left with a faint smile on his face. Elder Tang has left. Outside the ward, countless dignitaries and leaders of various countries took off their hats and bowed their heads in silent tribute. At the same time, in the universe, the Black Dragon fleet surrounded the planet, preparing to take away Wang Zhong's body. The Black Dragon fleet was now officially under the management of Qi Dian and Lu Yang. After so long, these two artificial intelligences only had one human friend, Wang Zhong. After Wang Zhong's death, they did not want to stay here any longer. They wanted to bring Wang Zhong's body to the Machine Kingdom. Wang Zhong's death was quickly broadcast by the major media and television stations in every country. The people of every country deeply remembered this legendary figure. It was said that Elder Tang was born in a desolate galaxy where slavery still existed. He was born as a slave. After that, he had relied on his own hard work to get to where he was today. He created a true grand unification of the entire universe without occupying the territories of other countries. He had also saved the entire universe from the hands of those immortal cultivators. He was the savior. This was what the leaders of many countries said to the people when they announced Wang Zhong's death. The savior, Tang Bai, had left. The legendary life of a slave had come to an end. Mission character, Slave Bai. Mission objective, I don't want to die on the battlefield. I don't want to be a slave. I want to climb up. I want to be the ruler of the upper class. Lifespan, 154 years. Partner, 2, they are all ahead of you, which makes you feel a little bad. Offspring, 2, 1 died young. The other was executed by you. Achievement evaluation. Although you have no children, you have become the most well-known and most powerful man in the universe since ancient times. You are the uncrowned king. You have created a flourishing universe that no one has ever created before. Reward obtained, 134,822 experience points. To be honest, Wang Zhong was shocked when he saw the experience points. This was the most experience points he had ever received since he started playing the game. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong knew why. It was simple. In this life, he had reached the peak of his life. He had become the most powerful person in the entire universe. He opened his eyes. It was still a familiar place. The ancient battlefield. Wang Zhong sat cross-legged on the ground. The sun had already risen, and the morning breeze blew over, making one feel relaxed and happy. After eating some crabs, Wang Zhong was ready to walk around. After all, although his memories would be sealed after the end of the game, Wang Zhong still felt a faint sense of emptiness in his heart. Sometimes, he would think of these memories in his sleep. They were so realistic and familiar. So, he had to walk around and let the memories fade. After eating, a mission prompt appeared in front of him. Ding! Successfully unlocked a new reborn creature. Creature. Actress Xiao Dai. Mission objective. I'm so pretty, beautiful, kind, cute, and curvy, but why is life so miserable for me? My stepfather wants to molest me, my neighbor old Wang wants to touch me, the girls at school are jealous of me, and the boys pester me. It's so hard for me. I want to be strong, and not be bullied by anyone. Seeing the message, Wang Zhong was stunned. What's the situation? Never in his wildest dreams would Wang Zhong have imagined that this option would appear. Become a girl, and a curvy one at that. Suddenly, Wang Zhong felt awkward. After thinking about it carefully, his expression changed. He remembered that this reborn creature had appeared before. He didn't expect it to appear again. What should he do? It's too hard for me. Most importantly, there was only one choice this time. This meant that he could only choose this. Plop. This was the first time Wang Zhong felt so helpless and pitiful. If that's the case, I have to learn how to adapt to a girl's life. Wang Zhong clenched his fist. He could use his weakest body to fight the enemy and capture the beast. But how to learn how to live a girl's life? He felt that the sky of the whole world had darkened. No, I can't sink like this. Wang Zhong pulled himself together and comforted himself. This is just a game. It's just a game. Although it's realistic, but, alright, he couldn't make it up anymore. Because he felt that this was real. No matter what, the game had been released. What he had to do next was to use the environment in front of him to learn how to live a girl's life. Although Wang Zhong had a lot of wives in the past, the problem was that he usually only knew how to take off his clothes and didn't pay much attention to how to dress. Wang Zhong furrowed his brows when he thought about the complicated designs of the clothes. What should I do? Looking at the deserted Dahai in front of him and the vast white fog, Wang Zhong felt a lot of pressure. Forget it. Let's leave this place and walk around. Hopefully, I can find some girls and ask them for advice. Wang Zhong adjusted his attitude because he felt that his thoughts were very simple. He just wanted to ask for advice on how to dress and how to change when one's period came. This was normal, right? Chapter 761. What a strong skeleton soldier. Miss Zhao, these skeleton soldiers can't be killed and will only exhaust our strength. Retreat quickly. On the ancient battlefield, Zhao Meng and her group were facing a crisis. Zhao Meng was the woman who brought Wang Zhong into the spiritual Qi small world. After Wang Zhong was valued by the Spirit Dream sect, Zhao Meng also valued Wang Zhong and hoped to hug Wang Zhong's thigh. However, when they entered the ancient battlefield, the two of them were separated. After that, Zhao Meng wandered alone and obtained some small opportunities. Gradually, her courage grew and she went deeper. Later on, she met some like-minded friends. Although they were from other sects, they got along well and moved together. They didn't expect to encounter trouble as they walked. This was a land of skeletons. Originally, it was nothing much. However, they found some skeletons buried here and occasionally found some fragments of ancient divine artifacts. These fragments were not to be underestimated. These fragments were fragments of artifacts used by the Almighty in the ancient times. Even after so many years, these fragments still contained a trace of the Almighty's powerful energy. If anyone could comprehend this trace of energy, it could be said that they could definitely reach a higher level or even break through. However, no one expected that not long after they stepped into this place, the skeleton fragments on the ground all revived. These skeleton fragments pieced together and formed a human figure. These human figures stood up. Two people couldn't dodge in time and were directly stabbed to death. In the blink of an eye, Zhao Meng and her group were surrounded. Now, only Zhao Meng, 2 men and 1 woman were left. These 2 men and 1 woman were from the same sect. In the face of danger, all of them had to retreat. Zhao Meng naturally wanted to leave, but the surrounding skeletons revived more and more. At first, they were all small skeletons. However, they soon realized that something was wrong. Not far away, some large skeletons began to grow taller and bigger. Such large skeletons were generally very strong. They couldn't deal with them at all. Sure enough, a skeleton as tall as 2 people was already standing in front of Zhao Meng and her group. The skeleton's eyes flickered with green light. After a low roar, it grabbed at Zhao Meng. Ah! Zhao Meng groaned as 3 bloody scratches appeared on her back. Immediately after, her back quickly turned purple. It was obvious that the claws of this huge skeleton were highly toxic. Miss Zhao. When the others saw this, they instantly felt uneasy. A boy quickly grabbed Zhao Meng's arm and prepared to drag her out. But at this time, another giant skeleton appeared behind them. It's over. This was the thought of everyone present. Bang! Bang! Fortunately, at this moment, a giant sword slashed down from above, splitting the giant skeleton in half. Wang Zhong. Seeing Wang Zhong holding the limitless sword, Zhao Meng was delighted. She was well aware of Wang Zhong's strength. He was the most valued genius among their group. The fact that he was willing to lend a hand proved that he had the confidence to resolve the current predicament. Senior Sister Zhao, are you all right? Wang Zhong glanced at Zhao Meng's back and asked. I can still walk. Wang Zhong nodded slightly and said to the other 2 men and 1 woman, You guys go out, I'll bring up the rear. These skeletons are very difficult to deal with. Even if we break them, these bones will soon be put back together. A boy with a crew cut said to Wang Zhong. Is that so? Wang Zhong glanced at the skeletons on the ground. Sure enough, these broken bones began to slowly gather together. It seemed that they were about to turn back into a human shape. Let's go. The boy with the crew cut pulled his junior brother and sister away. Wang Zhong helped Zhao Meng up. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Zhao Meng said weakly. She was very grateful. Wang Zhong glanced at Zhao Meng's clothes embarrassedly. He was about to enter the game. In the game, he was a girl. He should ask Zhao Meng about some things about girls. While retreating, Wang Zhong was already thinking about speaking to Zhao Meng. But if he said it too directly, would he be treated as a pervert? After thinking about it, Wang Zhong decided not to say it. He would just observe in secret. The might of the limitless sword was powerful because it was an artifact. With a sweep of the sword, groups of skeleton soldiers fell down like chopping vegetables. After a while, Wang Zhong brought Zhao Meng to meet up with the 2 men and 1 woman. The boy with the crew cut was called Jin Li Lai. The other man was his junior brother. His skin was darker and was called Huang Dongqing. The woman was a blonde girl called Aisha. It was said that she was a mixed-blood beauty. This senior brother is really strong. Huang Dongqing looked at the sword in Wang Zhong's hand enviously and said, "Thank you, senior brother." Jin Li Lai also said. Aisha patted her small chest and said, "Miss Zhao, is this person from the same sect as you?" "Yes, he is my junior brother, but his strength is far above mine," Zhao Meng said. Wang Zhong looked around and said, "It is very dangerous here at night. If you want to go to my place first. Rest for a while and treat Zhao Meng's injuries. Miss Zhao, although the wound on your back is not deep, the color is showing signs of black. You have to quickly detoxify it," Aisha reminded her. As she spoke, as if to verify Aisha's words, Zhao Meng suddenly felt weak and was about to collapse. Wang Zhong hurriedly supported her and said to everyone, "Let's go." In the afternoon, Wang Zhong brought the 4 of them back to the temporary cave. They were very satisfied with this place. Facing the Dahai, they were surrounded by beaches. The environment was very comfortable. Most importantly, they could eat a lot of seafood here. These were all good things. Only Zhao Meng had already fainted. This made Aisha and the others a little worried. Fortunately, Wang Zhong said that he knew some medical skills and was prepared to detoxify her. "You guys stay outside. I will treat Zhao Meng in the cave." Wang Zhong nodded. Jin Li Lai and Huang Dongqing also knew that Zhao Meng was a girl after all. It was not convenient to take off her clothes outside to treat her injuries, so they needed to be in the cave. "I will go to the sea to catch something to eat and cook dinner for everyone," Huang Dongqing said. "Senior brother Wang, if there is anything you need help with, just say it." Jin Li Lai sighed. "Speaking of which, although we are not familiar with Miss Zhao, we have supported each other along the way. Seeing her like this really makes us worried." "That's right. Senior brother Wang, I'm counting on you," Aisha said. "Of course." Wang Zhong entered the cave while Aisha stood guard outside not far away. Wang Zhong looked at the wound on Zhao Meng's back. This injury was indeed a sign of poisoning. However, this poison was not serious. She only needed to inject spirit energy to force the poison out. Looking at the unconscious Zhao Meng, Wang Zhong had an idea. "How about, I see how she wears her bra while she is unconscious? Damn, there are actually several straps." Wang Zhong scratched his head. He had a headache. He pulled lightly. It was over. He used too much force and the straps broke. Chapter 762. Wang Zhong was a little dumbfounded. "The quality of this girl's clothes is too poor. I didn't even use any strength, but the belt broke." He shook his head. Fortunately, Zhao Meng was unconscious and didn't know the situation. Otherwise, he didn't know what she would think. "She'll probably think I'm an idiot." Wang Zhong sighed. He didn't expect to have such a day. It was too embarrassing. Wang Zhong shook off his thoughts and continued to observe. Finally, he found a hidden buckle. He gently removed it, and the entire bra fell off and popped out. "This design is really good." Then, Wang Zhong detoxified Zhao Meng while continuing to study. Because Zhao Meng had long hair, he even studied how Zhao Meng tied her hair. After all, many people might not know that the longer one's hair was, the harder it was to take care of it. Boiling water couldn't be drunk directly because it was too hot. When it rained, one had to hold an umbrella or one would get wet. These were all common sense in life that everyone had to remember. Thinking that he was a girl in the game and had to have long hair, Wang Zhong observed carefully. Zhao Meng's hair was very good. If a comb was placed on it, the comb would directly slide off. She had a small fringe and a small braid at the back. It looked very good. In fact, if possible, Wang Zhong wanted to go out and buy a wig and some girls' clothes to study at home. However, it wasn't easy to come to this place. If he left like this, he didn't know when he would be able to come back. It would be a pity. Therefore, he had no choice but to study Zhao Meng's body for the time being. Zhao Meng's pants were a patterned skirt. Looking around, Wang Zhong carefully observed her surroundings. After some time, Zhao Meng's fingers moved. The poison was gone, and she gradually recovered. She narrowed her eyes and suddenly felt that her clothes were being pulled. She was dizzy and didn't have much strength. She could only squint and look quietly. She was shocked by what she saw. Wang Zhong was sneakily studying the clothes on her body. What was going on? One must know that after Wang Zhong saved her, Zhao Meng trusted Wang Zhong very much. At this moment, seeing Wang Zhong like this, she couldn't believe it. But soon, she felt relieved. I've long heard that some geniuses are eccentric and like some special items. It seems that this is true. In Zhao Meng's mind, Wang Zhong was already a genius with a strange hobby. His strange hobby was cross-dressing. But it was also possible that he was interested in her. Thinking about it, Zhao Meng was very confident in her appearance, especially her figure. It was really indescribable. In the past, when she walked on the street, the number of people who turned to look at her was also super high. Although Wang Zhong was talented, he was still a man. It was normal for him to be interested in her. Zhao Meng couldn't help but secretly rejoice. Wang Zhong was too outstanding, so no one would hate him for doing this. There was a girl who summed it up like this. A tall, rich, and handsome man pushing me down is called a domineering CEO. A loser wanting to push me down is called a hooligan. The blatant double-standard doctrine was exposed at this moment. Therefore, Zhao Meng deliberately pretended not to know. In the end, Zhao Meng was really itchy, so she pretended to turn over and continued to pretend to be asleep. However, Wang Zhong found that something was wrong because he clearly saw that when Zhao Meng turned over, her eyes squinted at him. This made Wang Zhong stunned. What's going on? Could it be that Zhao Meng has already woken up? Thinking of this, Wang Zhong deliberately touched the soles of Zhao Meng's feet. Her stomach twitched, and then he touched her thighs. Sure enough, Zhao Meng's eyelids moved. Oh my God, she woke up long ago. In that case, she already found out that I was doing this to her. But why didn't she resist? Wang Zhong was very curious. He wanted to understand more about a girl's psychology. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong felt that this might be because Zhao Meng had a good impression of him. But now that I've been discovered, what should I do? Anyway, I've already lost face, so I'll do it on purpose. Wang Zhong had a flash of inspiration and thought of a good idea. This girl is seriously injured. Fortunately, I massaged her acupuncture points one by one to stimulate the expulsion of the toxins. Wang Zhong whispered, and Zhao Meng heard all these words without missing a word. So it turns out that junior brother Wang didn't do it on purpose. He was just treating my injuries. To think that I thought of him so much before. Zhao Meng felt extremely guilty, and felt that she was really wrong. Then, Zhao Meng stopped pretending and pretended to open her eyes in a daze and said, Junior brother Wang. Senior sister Zhao, you're awake. Wang Zhong said with a straight face, Don't move, I was just detoxifying you. How's the detoxification? Not bad, you just need to rest for a few more days. Sorry to trouble you. What's the trouble? Wang Zhong smiled. Zhao Meng didn't think much at first, but she soon found that something was wrong because she found that the strap of her underwear seemed to be broken. She clearly remembered that when her back was scratched, the strap was still there. Why was it gone now? Could it be? Ahem, they're cooking something delicious. Let's go out. Without giving Zhao Meng a chance to think, Wang Zhong walked out. These days, Zhao Meng was almost thinking about why Wang Zhong broke her strap. After thinking about it, there was only one possibility, and that was that he was interested in her. My charm is really unstoppable. Zhao Meng was very hesitant, but she was in a good mood. In her opinion, Wang Zhong was very outstanding, and outstanding people should be given more opportunities. Therefore, Zhao Meng would wear beautiful clothes in front of Wang Zhong from time to time. Moreover, Zhao Meng also found that Wang Zhong liked to study her beautiful clothes. These clothes were packed when she came in this time. Several times when she was drying the beautiful clothes on the beach, Wang Zhong would come over and help her dry the clothes. Then she was surprised to find that when she was drying the clothes, Wang Zhong often asked her about the clothes. She didn't know whether it was intentional or not. At first, it was the price, then it was the characteristics of the style, and then it was outrageous. He actually asked her how to wear it, and several times, he even asked her how to tie the strap. Was this technique taught to him? Wasn't it accumulated over a long period of time? Now, Zhao Meng felt more and more that Wang Zhong had a tendency to cross-dress. If he did, she must tell Wang Zhong to be himself. If he really liked it, he could go for a small surgery. A few days later, Jean Lilai, Huang Dongqing, and Aisha had almost recovered from their injuries. Because they still had to train, they left first. After they left, Zhao Meng felt that there was no need to hide it that night. She looked at Wang Zhong and asked, "Junior brother Wang, why do you always like to secretly look at my clothes? Do you like women's clothing?" Chapter 763. Do you like to wear women's clothes? Hearing this, Wang Zhong's whole body was charred on the outside and tender on the inside. Seeing Wang Zhong remain silent, Zhao Meng became even more certain of her guess. In fact, there's no need for you to feel embarrassed. Only the heavens, the earth, you and I know about this matter. I won't speak carelessly. Strictly speaking, I was a soldier in the past and have received training to keep secrets. Therefore, I've always been tight-lipped about certain secrets. Wang Zhong had a headache. This Zhao Meng was a bit stupid. She could really write a novel with her thinking. I think you misunderstood. Wang Zhong shook his head helplessly. Misunderstood? You mean you don't like women's clothes? Zhao Meng tilted her head strangely. Nonsense. Have you seen me in women's clothes? But why do you usually secretly look at other people's beautiful clothes? Zhao Meng couldn't help but think of some small movies she used to secretly watch with her best friend. Some of the quirky protagonists would sneakily rub their sister's clothes against the wall when they entered the toilet. It was disgusting. You said it's beautiful clothes. Can't I have a look? Yes, you can, but isn't it not good for you to do so? Ahem. Wang Zhong didn't know what to say. He explained, actually, I just thought that it looked good. Your taste in clothes is really good. That's why I took a look at it. I didn't expect you to think of me like that. I'm really disappointed in you. Not really. Wang Zhong said so. Zhao Meng felt that she might have really misunderstood him. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Forget it, I'm a magnanimous person, so I'll forgive you. But if you really want to buy it, I can take you when we go out. You want to give it to your girlfriend, right? Zhao Meng asked tentatively. Kind of. Wang Zhong didn't want to delve into this topic and said, You're almost recovered now. What are you going to do next? I'm going to refine some fragments of the cultivation methods I got before. Although these fragments are scattered, they can bring me a lot of benefits and deepen my understanding of some cultivation methods. Well, you cultivate well. Suddenly, Zhao Meng frowned and clutched her stomach. She seemed to be in pain. This was the 5th time Wang Zhong had seen Zhao Meng like this in the past 2 days. He asked curiously, What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Wang Zhong found it strange because he had carefully examined Zhao Meng's body. Her injuries had already completely healed. It's nothing. Zhao Meng blushed. Are you hiding something from me? Wang Zhong asked seriously. A doctor has the heart of a parent. If you don't tell me about your illness, how can I figure it out? Therefore, this place is full of danger. If we don't solve your problem in advance, it won't be good if there are any repercussions. Zhao Meng heard this. Her heart felt warm and fuzzy. This was the feeling of being cared for. It was really good. Actually, it's nothing much. It's just that her period is here. Auntie. Wang Zhong was stunned at first, then he touched his nose and said, I see. My body is a bit cold, so every time my period comes, I feel pain. I'll be fine in a few days. After speaking, Zhao Meng felt wet and knew that she had to change. She got up and said, I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going to change. Looking at the blushing Zhao Meng as she left, Wang Zhong felt a burst of curiosity. He was going to be a girl in the game, so he probably had to go through this. Should he take this chance to learn? After thinking about it, Wang Zhong decided not to. This was not good. If he was found out, he would be scared. After staying here with Zhao Meng for a few days, Zhao Meng had refined most of the cultivation technique fragments. She was pleasantly surprised to find that her cultivation had greatly increased. The aura on Zhao Meng's body naturally attracted Wang Zhong's attention. Not bad, your strength has steadily increased. Noticing this, Wang Zhong nodded in satisfaction. Although Zhao Meng's talent was bad and her personality was a bit chinibu, she was very smart. The most important thing was that hard work could make up for it. She was a diligent girl. She knew that her talent was not good, so she was very diligent in her cultivation. Being praised by Wang Zhong, Zhao Meng was very happy. Thank you, junior brother Wang, for protecting me these few days. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to absorb the cultivation technique so easily. Zhao Meng was not an insensible person. To refine these cultivation technique fragments, she needed time and a quiet and safe environment. If Wang Zhong was not here, she would not be able to focus on refining the cultivation technique. Therefore, Zhao Meng was very grateful to Wang Zhong. There's nothing to thank. We're all from the same sect. Let's go. Let's go. Where to next? Zhao Meng now followed Wang Zhong's lead and listened to Wang Zhong's words. Let's go inside and find some more opportunities. This time, Wang Zhong was prepared to go deeper inside. Most of the outer area were cultivation technique fragments. Cultivation technique fragments were not that important to Wang Zhong. They were useless to him, but it would be a pity to throw them away. What he needed now were origins and law fragments. These origins and laws were the truly profound and mysterious things. The two of them went around a large ocean and entered a large desert. The sunlight here was very strong, as if something was roasting the earth. Here, they found a fire elemental law. Of course, they also encountered many dangers. Countless fire elemental beasts besieged them. After leaving this place, they continued to go deeper. The two of them saw many strange creatures. These were not living creatures. They were all experts who had died in the ancient battlefield. Because their strength was too strong, they formed all kinds of evil creatures. When the evil creatures reached a certain level, they would use 1/10,000th of the strength of the experts when they were alive. This strength would turn into attacks and attack passers-by. This kind of attack was an instinct of these evil creatures. Perhaps they did not even know why they attacked. They just fought day after day. The deeper they went, the stronger the evil creatures were. Almost done, Wang Zhong felt that there was no need to stay here. He and Zhao Meng decided to return to their previous encampment to rest. For Zhao Meng, it was a rest, but for Wang Zhong, he had more important things to do. Because last night, the mission to be reborn as Xiao Dai came. Just as he had guessed, the system did not change this mission in the end, nor did it add a second option. Otherwise, Wang Zhong would rather do the maggot in the Celestial World Cesspool mission than this mission. Forget it. Since I'm here, I'll just take it as it comes. I've already done the missions of becoming a fox and becoming a ghost. Although my personality has changed, it's fine. Wang Zhong thought it through. At this moment, he and Zhao Meng had already entered their previous encampment. Looking at the sleeping Zhao Meng beside him, Wang Zhong said in his heart, "Enter the game." Ding. Reborn creature. Actress Xiao Dai. Chapter 764. Reincarnated creature. Actress Xiao Dai. Creature description. Xiao Dai was smart and cheerful since young. She was carefully taken care of by her grandparents. However, as time passed, her grandparents grew weaker and weaker. Eventually, Xiao Dai was sent back to her parents. Her life with her parents was not happy. Her father drank too much and her mother loved her younger brother. Whenever there was good food, her mother would give it to her younger brother and leave her with a simple life. Xiao Dai's dream was to enter an art school to learn how to sing and dance. However, her mother rejected her because she was a loser. In the end, her parents divorced. Although Xiao Dai lived with her mother, she was targeted by her stepfather. In the end, Xiao Dai ran away from the family. Xiao Dai was already a beautiful girl in her teens. She had a good figure and fair skin. Everyone around her liked her and wanted to pursue her. Unfortunately, those people only wanted to possess her. In school, she was bullied by girls and pestered by boys. After graduation, she was envied by her female colleagues and pestered by her boss. She did not know what to do. Xiao Dai was afraid of being cheated. In the end, she eavesdropped on her boyfriend telling someone that he would dump her after sleeping with her a few times. She then slit her wrist and committed suicide at home. Mission objective. I'm so beautiful, kind, cute, and curvy, but why is life so miserable for me? My stepfather wants to take advantage of me, my neighbor old Wang wants to touch me, the girls at school are jealous of me, and the boys pester me. It's so hard for me. I want to be strong, and not be bullied by anyone. Mission completion reward. Random experience points. Heartwarming tip. A creature's body is very weak. You can't fight and kill them. As the white light flashed, this time, Wang Zhong discovered that he had been delivered smoothly. Why is it a girl again? Why is your womanly stomach so disappointing? A complaining voice was heard. Obviously, it was the voice of Wang Zhong's father in this life. A female voice said angrily, "How would I know it's a loser again? But then again, isn't it your seed? I saw it on TV. The scientists said that whether it's a son or a loser, it's up to you guys. It has nothing to do with us." What kind of fallacy is that? The noise in the room made Wang Zhong very unhappy. He sighed in his heart. Sure enough, his parents in this life were not good. For the next few days, his parents basically had a big argument every 3 days and a small one every 2 days. Sometimes it was for money, sometimes it was to take care of the children, but most of the time, it was because his father did not work and drank all day. Once he drank too much, he would fight with his mother. After a period of time, Wang Zhong gradually figured out his parents' names. His father's name was Song Jiansai, and he was a mason. Unfortunately, because he drank every day, he was dizzy all day long and couldn't do his work well. Therefore, not many people were willing to work for him. Her mother's name was Hu Zuelon. She worked in a textile factory. She was slightly plump and bad-tempered. Since Song Jiansai dared to scold her, she dared to hit her back with a kitchen knife. In fact, the two of them had a daughter before Wang Zhong. However, it was said that because she was a girl, she was sent away to be raised by someone else not long after she was born. Wang Zhong understood that the two of them actually wanted a boy. If they gave birth to a girl, they would be called losers. Finally, when Wang Zhong was 2 years old, the two of them had another child. This time, it was a boy. Hu Zuelon and Song Jiansai took Wang Zhong out for a meal to celebrate the birth of a boy, which was a rare occasion. However, after the meal, Hu Zuelon said to Wang Zhong, "Xiao Dai, Daddy and Mommy are very busy with work. Now that we have a little brother, as his elder sister, you have to give in to him, okay?" "I know," Wang Zhong replied in his childish voice, while he pondered over what they meant by this. "That's good. Tomorrow, Mommy will send you to Grandpa and Grandma's place. Daddy and Mommy are too busy to take care of you." Wang Zhong's heart was like a mirror. Saying that they were too busy? Wasn't it because they valued boys over girls and despised him for being a girl? Anyway, there was no reason for him to stay in this house. Therefore, he agreed, "Okay then, I will live with Grandpa and Grandma in the future." "Good boy." Hu Tsuelan and Song Jian-sai looked at each other and smiled. Then, they began to tease their son. As for Wang Zhong, they no longer paid attention to him. The next day, Hu Tsuelan bought 2 cartons of milk and left Wang Zhong in the countryside, letting Wang Zhong live with Grandpa and Grandma. Looking at the leaving Hu Tsuelan, Wang Zhong didn't cry or make a fuss. He just lamented the feudal and ignorant thinking of some rural people. Even in the 21st century, such thinking still existed, making people anxious. Compared to the indifference of his parents, Grandpa and Grandma were very good to Wang Zhong. Although the family was poor and only had a small house, the only electrical appliance in the house was a second-hand refrigerator. When it rained, the bedroom would drip with water. However, when the 2 elders had delicious food, they would always save it for him. Although the family was poor and couldn't afford new clothes, the other girls in the village didn't wear their dresses anymore. They would give them to Wang Zhong to wear. This made Wang Zhong very touched. In this world, there were still many good people. At the age of 5, Wang Zhong's height was obviously higher than his ordinary peers. This benefited from Wang Zhong's attention to his own nutrition. The family was poor, so he ate more fruits and vegetables. There were many fruits and vegetables in the field, and there were fish in the water. Grandpa and Grandma, who couldn't afford meat, often went to the river to catch fish and shrimp for Wang Zhong to eat. Wang Zhong also knew how to swim in the water, but he felt that he was a girl in this life and it was better to be reserved. Therefore, many boys in the village asked him to swim in the river, but they were all rejected by Wang Zhong. He now had beautiful long hair. Every day, he wore a sling dress to help his grandparents dry peanuts, pull out weeds, and do housework. People in the village said that Song Xiaodai was a very sensible girl. Whoever married her in the future would definitely bring good luck to their husband. Wang Zhong held his cheek. Whenever he heard these praises, he couldn't help but roll his eyes. In this life, although he was a girl, his mentality was normal. He didn't want to marry a man. If possible, it would be good to be alone. "Little Dai, let's play house together?" On this day, the village's fat child, nicknamed Fatty, found Wang Zhong. This child was only 7 years old, but he was very fat. Thanks to his physical advantage, this child was overbearing since childhood and was the king of the children in the village. "Little Dai, I'm talking to you." This fatty may have grown up fast. He was particularly precocious. At a young age, he knew the difference between boys and girls. Because Wang Zhong was the cutest girl among the children in the village, Fatty liked to find Wang Zhong to play. But how could Wang Zhong pay attention to him? When he saw him coming, he coldly said, "Get lost." Chapter 765. Get Lost. Wang Zhong shouted in an unusually domineering manner. This sentence gave the fat boy a fright, but very quickly, he became angry. He was actually scared by a girl. If other children knew about this, where would he put his face? "Song Xiaodai, what do you mean? I brought you to play with good intentions, and you actually yelled at me? Why, do you have a problem?" Wang Zhong was not very happy with this fat boy, so she was very rude. "I think you are looking for a beating." The fat boy's chubby body rushed up. Children at this age are still very naive. Just a few words and they are already fighting. Originally, the fat boy thought that Wang Zhong was thin and weak and easy to bully. He did not expect that Wang Zhong would grab a handful of soil and throw it at him. The fat boy's eyes were suddenly unable to open. In the darkness, his back was hit several times by the soil. "Ouch, ouch, don't hit me." After all, he is a child. After a few hits, the fat boy was beaten until he cried, "Woo woo, you hit me, woo woo." The fat boy opened his eyes with difficulty and suddenly saw a shocking scene. He saw Wang Zhong holding a shining kitchen knife in her hand and said coldly, "If you cry again, I will cut you." The fat boy understood everything. Naturally, he knew the threat of the kitchen knife. He was so scared that he could not move. "Sister Xiaodai, don't, I was wrong." "Now that you know you are wrong, Slap yourself twice and I will let you go." The fat boy quickly slapped himself twice and said with a sad face, "Woo, is that enough?" Just as he finished speaking, the door opened and the fat boy's mother walked in. "Fatty, what are you doing? I have been looking for you for a long time." "Mom." Seeing his mother, the fat boy seemed to have found his savior and quickly rushed over. Wang Zhong also walked over and said with a smile, "Hello, Auntie." "Fatty, why didn't you say anything when you came to Xiaojie's house? Why are you crying?" the fat boy's mother asked strangely. "Auntie, the fat boy accidentally fell." Wang Zhong answered for the fat boy. "Child, why are you so careless?" The fat boy's lips squirmed. He didn't know how to explain. He wanted to say that Song Xiaodai had just bullied him, but he didn't know what to say. Then, the fat boy's mother took him away. In the following days, every time Wang Zhong went out, Fatty would take a detour whenever he saw Wang Zhong. He was terrified. Because they were in the same village, the two of them went to the same kindergarten. The fat boy was the king of the children in this kindergarten, but soon the classmates discovered that he was afraid of Song Xiaodai. Every time Song Xiaodai asked him to buy snacks for her, Fat Boy would be the first to run out and buy them. He was very obedient. Needless to say, Fatty listened to Wang Zhong's words the most in the village. Even many adults noticed this. Everyone joked that Fatty listened to his wife at such a young age. Gradually, the adults realized that something was wrong. Except for the fat boy, the other children were actually afraid of Song Xiaodai. Wang Zhong had completely become the king of the children here. However, Song Xiaodai was a girl after all. Everyone didn't take it seriously. They all thought that Song Xiaodai was good at talking. Soon, Wang Zhong went to primary school. Because the family was poor, his grandparents bought a school uniform and a school bag. This was the first time that Wang Zhong had worn new clothes since he was a child. Although it was only a school uniform, it still made him feel emotional. He now had to grow up early and make a lot of money. In this life, he would not let anyone bully her. School life was bitter. Because he lived in the mountains, he had to get up at 5 o'clock every morning. Then, he carried his school bag and walked for more than an hour on the mountain road. After going down the mountain, he walked for another half an hour before he arrived at school. There was no way. Life in the mountains was like this. Fortunately, Wang Zhong had suffered all kinds of hardships. This was really nothing. The only troublesome thing was that sometimes when the weather was bad, it was really troublesome. Every time it rained heavily, he was already wet when he came to school. Especially in winter, he could only freeze in the leaky classroom. Fortunately, Wang Zhong's grades were good. He was the first in the grade in every exam. He was a good child in the eyes of the teachers and a little goddess in the eyes of the students. In the 5th grade, the conditions were finally a little better. The village began to repair the road to the school. They built a cement road. Although the cement road was not wide, at least it could be ridden by a bicycle. A bridge was also built on the periphery, so there was no need to walk on the wooden bridge in the future. This made Wang Zhong overjoyed. The current policy was good. The farmers were happy to have a good life. In addition, the village built houses for every poor family. Unfortunately, Wang Zhong's family had healthy parents. The two of them belonged to the healthy labor force population, so the village could not support the construction of new houses. There was no way. Wang Zhong could only squeeze with his grandparents in the dilapidated mud-walled house. Every rainy day, he had to take out several basins to get water. When I go to junior high school, I must find something to do and strive to make a lot of money early. During the summer vacation of the 5th grade, Wang Zhong woke up early in the morning. Looking at his slim and elegant appearance in the only mirror in the house, he secretly made up his mind. Now, he had a ponytail and was 1.48 meters tall. To be honest, it was not bad to be so tall at this age. Now, the adults in the village praised Wang Zhong's appearance. He was so handsome at such a young age. He would definitely be a beauty in the future. "Xiao Dai, is Xiao Dai here?" the fat boy shouted outside. Wang Zhong walked to the window and saw the fat boy outside with several boys and girls. What's wrong? Wang Zhong walked out. Sister Xiao Dai, let's go to the game hall. I will treat you to a game. Not interested. Wang Zhong decisively refused. This group of delinquent children always liked to find him to play. Sister Xiao Dai, how about I treat you to the skating rink? I am very good at skating. I don't know how to. Wang Zhong speechlessly refused again. He impatiently waved his hand and said, I still have to do my homework. You guys go and play. Sister Xiao Dai, if you don't know how to, I can teach you. You can rest assured that I will definitely teach you. As the fat boy spoke, he greedily looked at Wang Zhong's long legs, thinking about how to take advantage of it later. Unfortunately, Wang Zhong did not even look at him. Go away. If you talk nonsense again, don't blame me for being rude. Sister Xiao Dai is so fierce. Of course, who doesn't know that Sister Xiao Dai is the fiercest? Brother Fatty, let's go. The people on the side persuaded. This made the fat boy very uncomfortable. For so long, the fat boy had been interested in Song Xiao Dai, but Song Xiao Dai had always ignored him. Well, Sister Xiao Dai, then you study hard. Not long after Fat Guy left with his men, a van drove in. Wang Zhong narrowed his eyes. This was his parents' car. Why are they here? Wang Zhong had a bad premonition. Chapter 766. My dear daughter. Why aren't you coming over to pick up your things when you see Daddy coming home? After the van stopped, Song Jiansai got off and shouted at Wang Zhong unhappily. You're so blind. Your parents' teachings are just bad. Hu Tsuelon rolled her eyes at her husband and kissed the boy in her arms. My son is still the smart one. He's polite. Wang Zhong nearly cursed inwardly. Just because he was a girl, his parents rolled their eyes at him and doted on his brother. In their opinion, it was a sin to be a girl. No matter how bad their son was, he was still a treasure in their eyes. Wang Zhong's brother was called Song Baoqiang. Although his family wasn't rich, Song Baoqiang ate and drank the best food at home since he was young. His parents never let him do any work. For example, even though Song Baoqiang was already a big boy, he was still in Hu Tsuelon's arms. It was as though she was afraid that others wouldn't know that she gave birth to a son. Speaking of his brother, Wang Zhong felt a headache coming on. The two of them didn't have any feelings for each other. The few times they met, it was only during the New Year. His brother was very naughty. Every time he came back, he would cause trouble. If he wasn't smashing bowls and cups, he would throw clothes everywhere. There was once when he played with matches on his grandparents' bed and nearly set the bed on fire. But even so, Song Jiansai and Hu Tsuelon didn't blame their brother. Instead, they scolded Wang Zhong. The reason was that their brother was still young. It was natural for him to play around. However, Wang Zhong was already an adult. An adult should be responsible for taking care of his younger brother. Therefore, without a word, Song Jiansai picked up the rolling pin at home and beat Wang Zhong's arms and legs until they were bruised. However, his parents didn't consider that he was washing clothes at the time. As for them, they were bragging to their neighbors about how much money they had earned outside. In retrospect, while they were playing, they blamed him for doing the work. Was there any justice in this world? Since then, Wang Zhong had completely given up on his parents. He had already thought about it. When he had the ability to be self-reliant, he would leave this place. He would leave this so-called home that he didn't have any feelings for. Although he didn't have any feelings for his parents, he still had to put on a show. Wang Zhong went over to call his parents and went over to pick up the things. This time, his parents also brought something for Wang Zhong. The gift was 2 boxes of milk. Other than that, there were also some toys, but they were all left behind by her younger brother. Even so, when Song Baoqiang saw that the toy was going to be given to Wang Zhong, he hurriedly grabbed it and said, "This is mine. I don't want to give it to my sister. I don't want it. These are all a bunch of broken toys." Mommy will buy you new ones when we get home, okay? After Hu Tsuelon finished speaking, she glared at Wang Zhong. I gave you a toy. Hurry up and say thank you to your brother. Take this pair of broken toys inside. Wang Zhong's lungs were about to explode from anger. First of all, what did she take him for by giving him a bunch of things that his younger brother didn't want as gifts? Secondly, he was about to enter the 6th grade. Would he still want to play with these children's toys? She didn't think it was childish. This also showed that his parents didn't care about him at all. They put all their energy on his younger brother and didn't care about him. They even felt that giving him some second-hand broken toys was a great gift to him. He. Wang Zhong wanted to laugh. He only felt that his parents were really weird. No, actually, they weren't weird. Because since he was young, he realized that almost all the adults in the village were like this. If someone gave birth to a son, they would hold a big banquet and the whole family would be happy. If they gave birth to a daughter, they would frown. Especially on the wife's side, she would be scolded by her in-laws for not being able to give birth to a son and letting down her ancestors. Wang Zhong even saw a family with his own eyes. A husband and wife gave birth to 3 daughters, but they still couldn't give birth to a son. In the end, the husband divorced his wife under the instigation of his sister and mother. But he didn't expect that after marrying his second wife, although she gave birth to a son, he later found out that the son wasn't his during a blood test. This directly angered the man's mother to the point that she was hospitalized. After that, the man divorced his second wife, and his second wife and her lover snatched away a lot of his assets. It could be said that he lost everything. In the end, he couldn't torment her anymore. Only then did the man think of his first wife. However, she already had a new family. This made him regret it. Dad, Mom, why are you here this time? Wang Zhong asked curiously while eating. Hu Tsuelon smiled and picked up a drumstick for her son, Song Baoqiang, and then said, Good girl, Dad and Mom are going to bring you to the city. Are you happy? Happy. Happy my ass. With these parents' personalities, Wang Zhong suspected that he would be sold off if he went over. Dad, Mom, I don't want to go. I'm about to enter the 6th grade and have the middle school examination. If I leave now, it will affect my studies, Wang Zhong said. Daughter, Dad and Mom are doing this for your own good. Don't you want to be with us? I think it's good to be with Grandpa and Grandma, Wang Zhong said frankly. Child, why are you so insensible? Song Jiansai stared impatiently and said, I have to work every day. Your mom has to go to work. She has to work the night shift every day. There's no one to take care of the house. You're a grown-up now. You have to learn to take care of yourself and your family. Wang Zhong understood. He understood everything. It turned out that his parents wanted him to go back now because they wanted him to be a servant. And a servant who didn't need money. Hu Tsuelon also said, Daughter, you're a girl. Studying is a small matter. Anyway, you'll get married in the future. Go to the city now and I'll teach you how to do housework. Only then can you do good deeds in the future. It's settled then. Pack your things later and leave tomorrow. Song Jiansai waved his hand and gave Wang Zhong an order without hesitation. Wang Zhong clenched his fists. He was too young to decide his own fate. Subconsciously, he looked at his grandparents. His grandparents' faces were full of wrinkles. They also felt that Wang Zhong was quite pitiful. So, his grandfather whispered, Well, Xiaodai will be in the 6th grade next year. Why don't we let her stay here for another year? Yes. Her grades are quite good. She's always the first. Grandma also said. Wang Zhong looked at his grandparents gratefully. They knew how important their support was to him now. Unfortunately, Hu Tsuelon glared at them and slammed the table. She snorted and said, You want Xiaodai to work here for you, don't you? As she spoke. As if she had seen through them, she snorted and said, I know you. No, we never let her work. It's always Xiaodai who takes the initiative. Don't say that. I know. Let me ask you. If Xiaodai doesn't work here, who will do the housework? Who will take care of Baoqiang? Hu Tsuelon said sarcastically, Don't ask your son to do the housework for you. Look at what Xiao Dai has become. I can't even call her mom when I come here. I really don't know how I gave birth to such a loser. Chapter 767. I really don't know how I gave birth to such a good-for-nothing. Her sarcastic and cold words made Wang Zhong frown. Perhaps this was a very uncultured rural auntie. However, it had to be said that such people often had the upper hand in the conversation because they could talk and tear down their face to argue with you. Many people who were afraid of trouble often did not dare to make trouble, so such people could take advantage of them. After that, such people would get even worse after tasting the sweetness. Sure enough, after being scolded, the grandparents' lips squirmed and they did not dare to speak. "Mom, why did you let this good-for-nothing stay in our house?" The youngest son said unhappily. Well, children were indeed the fastest to learn things. He had learned Hu Zuelon's words and scolded Wang Zhong as a good-for-nothing. This brother is a little annoying. Wang Zhong glanced at Song Baoqiang unhappily. "Mom, how can you always talk about me like that? You even let him imitate you. It's very impolite to let him talk like that," Wang Zhong said politely. Hearing Wang Zhong's words, Hu Zuelon rolled her eyes. "Xiao Dai, you're the elder sister. You have to give in to your brother in the future, okay? What's wrong with him scolding you? He didn't hit you or anything. Besides, you didn't lose a piece of meat. Do you know that? But he's very impolite. Such a child is not likable." Wang Zhong's words made Song Jiansai and Hu Zuelon very unhappy. In their opinion, their son was the most outstanding, the most adorable, and the most sensible. How could such an outstanding son not be likable? Didn't he just say some unpleasant words? What's wrong with that? As an elder sister, Wang Zhong was too intolerant. Pa. Sure enough, Song Jiansai was angry. She threw her chopsticks and pointed at Wang Zhong. "What do you know? Your brother is not likable, so you're likable. So what if you're likable? A married daughter is like spilled water. The most useless person in the family is you. Needless to say, this time, whether you want to go to the city or not, you have to go. Otherwise, who will take care of you? Xiao Dai, don't be angry with Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad are too busy. We still have to save money for your brother to buy a wife and a house in the future. Do you understand? You must be sensible." Wang Zhong didn't say anything, because no matter how he retorted, he would be the one at a disadvantage. This kind of parents wouldn't care about what you think. No matter how well you did, they would always think that it was what you should do, that it was a matter of course. If you don't do a good job, then it'll be even worse. You'll be blamed for everything. The next day, Wang Zhong said goodbye to his grandparents and headed to the city with his parents and brother. Life in the city was not happy. The whole family was crammed into a cramped apartment. Wang Zhong and his brother were crammed into a small room. There were only 2 beds in the room. On the first day back, his parents told Wang Zhong that his daily task was to be responsible for his brother's food, clothing, housing, and transportation. He also had to help wash clothes. If he didn't do a good job, he would be scolded by them. "Sister, my underwear is dirty. Sister, my clothes are dirty. Sister, I pooped on my body." On the 3rd day, his parents were not at home. They had gone to work. Looking at this annoying brother, Wang Zhong's eyes were cold. "You want me to work? Fine, see how I'll deal with you." Slap. Wang Zhong slapped Song Baoqiang's face. Song Baoqiang was stunned. He never thought that his sister, who had been scolded by his parents, would hit him. To be honest, Song Baoqiang was not a timid child. On the contrary, he was very naughty. He was someone who would not be moved by force or persuasion. "You useless thing! How dare you hit me?" Song Baoqiang pointed at Wang Zhong angrily. "When Mom and Dad come home, I'll tell them and let them beat you to death." "Beat me to death, right? Fine, let's see who dies first." A cold smile appeared on Wang Zhong's face. After so many lifetimes, to be honest, it was too easy for him to deal with a little kid. Dragging Song Baoqiang's head, Wang Zhong pushed him down the toilet. Ah! Gulp! Gulp! Song Baoqiang drank a few mouthfuls of water. Then, he was lifted up. Wang Zhong roared fiercely, "Will you be obedient in the future?" Bah! His temper was quite bad. As expected, ordinary scares wouldn't work. Wang Zhong sighed softly and picked up Hu Zuelan's embroidery needle. Under Song Baoqiang's horrified gaze, the needle pierced his finger. Ah! Woo-woo! Woo-woo! No, no. Useless thing, don't hit me. What did you call me? Wang Zhong pierced the needle again. At this moment, he was comparable to Granny Rong. Ah! Sister! Sister! If you dare to call me that again, I'll stab you again. Will you be obedient in the future? Wang Zhong threatened. Song Baoqiang looked at Wang Zhong in horror. Just now, he had been tortured for more than an hour. This was extremely terrifying in his young heart. The weak and gentle sister who was bullied by others was gone. Instead, it was replaced by a very scary stranger. I'll be obedient, woo-woo, I'll be obedient. Song Baoqiang was crying. Also, if you dare to tell Mom and Dad, I'll throw you down from here. Wang Zhong patted Song Baoqiang's face and ordered, "Go and wash the clothes." Oh. This was the first time Song Baoqiang washed clothes. It was not clean, but so what? There was no way he could do the family's chores alone. If he was pushed too far, he would let his parents know his power. At night, when his parents came home from work, Song Baoqiang rushed over. He did not dare to stay with Wang Zhong anymore. He desperately wanted his parents. "What's wrong, son? Why are your eyes swollen?" Adults were very observant, especially toward the people they cared about. It was easy to find that the people they cared about had cried. "Mom, brother fell at home in the afternoon. I helped him up. He's fine." Wang Zhong smiled and showed his brother an amiable smile. "Isn't that right, brother? Mom and Dad, let's eat." Song Baoqiang did not dare to say anything. "Eat well. Be careful when you walk in the future." In the next few days, his parents also helped Wang Zhong with the procedures to go to a nearby elementary school. Wang Zhong started his school life here. On the first day of school, Wang Zhong attracted the attention of his classmates. Because he was too beautiful, within a few days, everyone said that Wang Zhong was the class belle. This caused a girl to be dissatisfied, and she actually became jealous. The reason was very simple. The girl liked the male idol in the class monitor. But she did not expect that after the class monitor saw Wang Zhong, he would come over and say that he wanted to make up lessons for Wang Zhong. This made the girl very unhappy. When school was over, this girl named Han Xiaoxia led a group of delinquent girls to stop Wang Zhong. "Why are you stopping me?" Wang Zhong carried his backpack and held the bicycle with both hands and asked indifferently. Chapter 768. Looking at the group of delinquent girls chewing gum and sucking on lollipops, Wang Zhong was left speechless. Hey, we are all classmates. Is there a need?" So many people stopped him with bad intentions. Wang Zhong didn't believe that they had anything good waiting for him. Song Xiaodai. Han Xiaoxia took out the lollipop from her mouth and snorted, "Do you know why I am looking for you today?" Wang Zhong shook his head. "I am not a roundworm in your stomach. How would I know?" Still pretending. A fat girl on the side said unhappily, "Yes. Han Xiaoxia. Who doesn't know that you like Ma Kai? You are just pretending." Listening to their words, Wang Zhong understood. "Han Xiaoxia, are you looking for me because of Ma Kai? What do you think?" Han Xiaoxia snorted. "It is not convenient to talk here. If you know what is good for you, let's go to the grove behind the school." "Do you dare?" Han Xiaoxia had made up her mind. If Wang Zhong didn't want to talk, then no matter what, she would pull him over by force. However, what she didn't expect was that Wang Zhong was happy. Okay. You are quite bold. Then let's go. You can rest assured that as long as you go over obediently, we will not do anything to you. The fat girl on the side winked at the girl on the side. The group of people opened the way for Wang Zhong. The grove behind the school was a large garden. Usually, no one came here, so it became a place for students to deal with their own conflicts and disputes. Wang Zhong stood on the edge of the grove and said faintly, "Say it. Why did you bring me here? Song Xiaodai, you stay away from Ma Kai in the future. Do you understand?" Wang Zhong was happy. "Han Xiaoxia, are you okay? What happened to Ma Kai and me? You are still pretending." The fat girl was angry. "The whole school knows that Han Xiaoxia and Ma Kai are a match made in heaven. You seduced Ma Kai. Aren't you trying to break up Han Xiaoxia and Ma Kai?" Wang Zhong did not expect that the children in the city would start to fall in love in the 6th grade. No wonder there were more and more underage children nowadays. Wang Zhong said helplessly, "Let me tell you 2 points. First of all, Han Xiaoxia, it's you who likes Ma Kai, right? How did the 2 of you become a match made in heaven? Secondly, it doesn't matter if the 2 of you are a match made in heaven or if you're chasing him and he's chasing you. It's none of my business. I didn't do anything with Ma Kai." Wang Zhong's orderly and logical words caused the students to look at each other. Han Xiaoxia gritted her teeth and said, "But I saw him talking to you all the time. I went to talk to him, but he ignored me." Wang Zhong sneered again. "Please, you said it yourself. He came to chat with me, not the other way around. Besides, he was kind enough to help me with my lessons. Good intentions, my ass. I heard from his good friend that Ma Kai likes you and wants to pursue you." The fat girl angrily rebuked. "What?" Wang Zhong's face turned ugly. "This bastard likes me?" He recalled that when Ma Kai was with him, he seemed to be looking at his long legs. It was too abominable. He was being taken advantage of. "Stop pretending. Ma Kai is such an outstanding and pure man. Do you dare to say that you're not tempted by him?" Han Xiaoxia looked at Wang Zhong with a look of disdain. In her opinion, Ma Kai was the most outstanding man. Not only was his grades good, but he was also the class monitor. His personality was gentle and elegant. Most importantly, he was so handsome. Yes, the most important thing was that he was handsome. Girls at this age were all about appearance. Therefore, she felt that Wang Zhong must have taken a fancy to Ma Kai, so he hooked up with Ma Kai. This made her very angry. Wang Zhong pointed at himself and said incredulously, "I'm pretending? Why aren't you pretending? Forget it. There's no need to be long-winded with you." Wang Zhong really couldn't stand this group of infatuated girls. "Want to leave?" "No way." The fat girl snorted coldly and stopped Wang Zhong. She pushed Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong frowned and said, "A good dog doesn't block the way. Get lost." "You actually called me a dog. I think you're tired of living." The fat girl was so angry that she was about to die. She was ready to teach Wang Zhong a lesson. "Stop." At this critical moment, a cold shout was heard. Everyone looked carefully. It was actually Ma Kai who came over. Ma Kai was wearing a casual shirt and clean sneakers. He put his hands in his pockets and walked over arrogantly. He coldly glanced at the fat girl and said, "Why are you bullying Xiao Dai? There are so many of you. Don't you know that bullying a girl is not good? So touching." Was this the person who wanted to pursue him? Wang Zhong had the urge to vomit and feel disgusted. But he still held it in. "Ma Kai, why are you here?" The fat girl hurriedly looked at Han Xiaoxia. "I heard that you guys brought Xiao Dai here. I was a little worried, so I came over to take a look. Sure enough, you guys actually did such a thing to Xiao Dai." Ma Kai looked very angry. He immediately walked to Wang Zhong's side and asked with concern, "Xiao Dai, are you okay?" I'm fine. As the saying goes, don't hit a smiling face." Wang Zhong could only endure the disgust at this time. However, Han Xiaoxia anxiously ran over, Ma Kai, it's not what you think. I just want to talk to Xiao Dai. Han Xiaoxia really liked Ma Kai. She anxiously explained. However, Ma Kai didn't listen to her explanation at all. Don't say any more. Han Xiaoxia, I know you. I told you a long time ago that I don't like you. Why are you pestering me and even bullying Xiao Dai? Ma Kai, you didn't treat me like this before. Have you forgotten that we still? Before she finished her words, Ma Kai angrily rebuked. I'm warning you, don't talk nonsense. Han Xiaoxia anxiously walked to Ma Kai's side and pulled his hand, pleading, You didn't treat me like this before. Why? Get lost. Ma Kai couldn't stand her shaking and suddenly threw Han Xiaoxia away. In an instant, Han Xiaoxia was thrown to the ground. Han Xiaoxia fell into a dog pit. Her entire body was dirty, especially her luxurious clothes and fair face, which had now become extremely ugly. Han Xiaoxia was stunned. She was completely stunned. The person she loved deeply actually treated her like this. This made her heart die. Get lost, don't you understand? Ma Kai's eyes were extremely cold. After that, he no longer looked at Han Xiaoxia on the ground and turned to look at Wang Zhong. Xiao Dai, let's ignore this lunatic. Let's go, I'll treat you to milk tea. After drinking milk tea, let's go karaoke. Slap. Ma Kai's response was a slap from Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong shook his hand and said, Who wants to go karaoke with you? You coward, you actually hit a woman. Under many surprised eyes, Wang Zhong helped Han Xiaoxia up and said, This kind of trash man, don't pay attention to him. Let's go. Xiao Dai, you. Ma Kai was too surprised. To think that such an outstanding person like him, Xiao Dai, actually hit him. Xiao Dai. Ma Kai was instantly angry. Wang Zhong turned back and said, What, you want to hit a woman again? Wang Zhong coldly stared at him. You can try. Tomorrow, I'll let the whole school know your true colors. Chapter 769. Although Wang Zhong is a girl, but the words she said were so overbearing that Ma Kai was intimidated. Okay, you have guts. You actually dare to hit me. Ma Kai was furious. He was such an excellent person. He had already tried to please Xiao Dai, but she still didn't appreciate it. Is this girl a fool? In the past, when he pursued girls, which one wasn't easy? Even several times, the girls took the initiative. But when he met Song Xiao Dai, this Song Xiao Dai ignored him. This time, she even directly slapped his face. This is unforgivable. Unfortunately, no matter how angry he was, he didn't dare to fight back. Because he felt that this Song Xiao Dai was different from other girls. This Song Xiao Dai had a bad temper and wasn't easy to fool. Ma Kai had no choice but to leave. Hoo. Ma Kai. Han Xiaoxia was still crying. Wang Zhong squatted down and held her. Don't cry. It's not worth crying for that kind of man. Why did you help me? Han Xiaoxia cried. Because you were bullied, that's all. I was bullied. Yes, what's even funnier is that someone you like bullied you. Don't you think it's funny? That's why I just said that Ma Kai isn't a good person. You didn't believe it and thought that I wanted to pursue Ma Kai. Sorry, I was wrong. Han Xiaoxia understood everything. All of this was her wishful thinking. In fact, Song Xiao Dai didn't think so much. Sorry. The fat girl also came to apologize, followed by resentment. Ma Kai is too hateful. Usually, the students think that he is a good person. The teacher often praises him. This is called knowing a person for a long time without understanding his heart. When you meet such a person, stay away. Xiao Dai, you haven't been here for long. Why are you so good at judging people? Han Xiaoxia asked curiously. Because I have seen many of these people. Wang Zhong smiled and didn't explain much. Then he said, Anyway, it's still early. Let's go and drink some milk tea. Well, I'll treat everyone. After all, This happened because of me. Han Xiaoxia looked at her clothes and knew that her family was very good. Usually, when she went out, she spent the most money. Everyone readily agreed. After they went to a milk tea shop near the school, a group of girls started chatting. It didn't take long for Wang Zhong to become familiar with them. Due to his maturity and courage, Wang Zhong quickly became the big sister of this group of girls and gained their trust. After chatting for about half an hour, the other girls left, leaving only Han Xiaoxia. Han Xiaoxia, why aren't you leaving? Wang Zhong stood up, pulled her skirt and asked curiously. Lil Dai, there's something I don't know if I should tell you. Seeing that Han Xiaoxia seemed to be thinking about something, Wang Zhong said, let's talk while we walk. Yes. Walking out of the milk tea shop, Han Xiaoxia said, actually, I shouldn't have said this, but I couldn't help it. Go ahead, I won't tell anyone else. Yes. Because she had just been saved by Wang Zhong, Han Xiaoxia now trusted Wang Zhong very much. She said, actually, Ma Kai was really good to me in the past. Han Xiaoxia began to talk. In the beginning, Ma Kai also used the knowledge he taught Han Xiaoxia to deliberately get close to Han Xiaoxia. Later, using Han Xiaoxia's good impression of him, Ma Kai asked her out for milk tea and karaoke. They were all 6th grade students. The children in the city were very precocious, so no one cared if they went to karaoke. You couldn't have been. Listening to Han Xiaoxia's story, Wang Zhong had a bad premonition in his heart. That time when we went to karaoke, he forced me to kiss him. Later, I drank until I vomited and went home. Later, he asked me, got a room? Wang Zhong asked. Yes. This guy is really a good for nothing. Did you agree to it? Later, when you transferred to the school, he didn't ask me out. He became more and more cold to me. Then you're really lucky. Wang Zhong patted Han Xiaoxia's shoulder and said frankly, if it weren't for me, you might have already lost your virginity and been dumped by him. Han Xiaoxia's face turned pale. Although she was still a primary school student, she understood these things. For a moment, she was very glad that she saw through this Ma Kai. Thank you, Xiao Dai. It's okay. Women should be strong. Don't shed a tear for those men in the future. Yes. That night, when Wang Zhong returned home, he felt that the atmosphere was a bit strange. The food at home wasn't cooked. His younger brother, Song Baoqiang, was looking at him sneakily while his parents were glaring at him. Dad, Mom, why didn't you cook? Wang Zhong walked in and asked. Pa. Unexpectedly, Song Jiansai slammed the table and shouted angrily, You still have the face to say that? Let me ask you, where have you been? Why are you only back now? It's only been a few days and you already know that you can't come back from playing outside. Song Jiansai, look at the good daughter your parents raised for us. What has she become? This is outrageous. Hu Zuelon pointed at Wang Zhong's nose and scolded. Can you not always bring my parents into your scolding? Song Jiansai said coldly. How can I not say it? It's all your parents' fault. All right, I won't talk to you anymore. Song Jiansai also had a headache about his wife's unreasonable temper. He then said to Wang Zhong, Let me ask you, why did you come back so late today? Wang Zhong felt strange. Was it because he came back late and they were worried about his safety? But this didn't fit their character. Wang Zhong didn't have any hope for them. Yes, why did you come back so late? Didn't I tell you to go home early and cook the food? Look at us, we got off work so late and didn't have anything to eat when we came home. It's fine for us, but what about your brother? Your brother is hungry now, do you know that? Hu Zuelon also scolded. Dad, Mom, I'm hungry. Song Baoqiang shouted and looked at Wang Zhong with resentment. He wanted to see how his sister felt when she was scolded. Wang Zhong laughed in his heart. It turned out that they were scolding him because he didn't cook. I had something to do at school today, so I came back late, Wang Zhong replied. You came back late? Did you commit a crime? No. If I find out that you committed a crime, I'll beat you to death." Hu Tsuelon scolded. Song Jiansai muttered, "What's the point of a girl going to school? In my opinion, it's better for her to stay at home and do the laundry. Anyway, she will get married after graduating from junior high. It's compulsory education now. If you don't go to school, it's against the law." Hu Tsuelon understood this quite well. In the end, Hu Tsuelon cooked the meal. She cooked a bowl of red braised pork, but most of it was eaten by her brother. When Wang Zhong wanted to take a bite, Song Jiansai glared at him and stopped him. "After graduating from junior high, I will leave this place." At night, Wang Zhong secretly made up his mind. Chapter 770. In the following days, Wang Zhong's life was still not very good. At home, he had to do housework and so on. He also wanted to leave here, but in this life, he was just a weak girl, and a beautiful little girl. In this society, being beautiful was a sin. He was worried that he would be kidnapped as soon as he went out. If he was sold to the mountains as a wife, it would be funny. In addition, he had no identity certificate and no education, so before he was a minor, he must rely on learning to lay a good foundation for himself and make a name for himself in the future. His life at home, he could only endure for the time being. Fortunately, his brother Song Baoqiang was very afraid of him now and did not dare to bully him, so it was a little better. As for the school, now Wang Zhong was the big sister of the girls in the class. Not to mention the girls, even the boys had to call Wang Zhong big sister when they saw her. Of course, Ma Kai was very angry with Wang Zhong and found trouble with Wang Zhong several times. The reason why he dared to blatantly target Wang Zhong was because he was the class monitor. His grades were very good, and he was often the top student in the class. He was often in the top 50 students in the school, so he was deeply loved by the teachers. However, a month later, after the school's mock exam, the situation changed. It was very simple. Wang Zhong's exam score not only exceeded Ma Kai's, but what was shocking was that he was the first in the school. When the head teacher excitedly announced Wang Zhong's score, everyone in the class was shocked. "Too powerful. Sister Dai is really beautiful and her grades are good. If I were half as good as her, I would be satisfied." "What are you talking about? If I could be 10% as good as her, I would be happy. Her grades are so good." I said that Sister Dai would have the qualifications to be a university student in a famous school. If anyone could pursue her, they would be willing to have their ancestral graves explode. Although the children in the city were only in 6th grade, they knew a lot of things. When everyone was shocked, only Ma Kai's eyes widened in disbelief. "This Song Xiao Dai, her grades are so good." Ma Kai was very jealous. Originally, he was proud of himself and wanted to crush Wang Zhong in terms of learning and let him know how good he was. But he didn't expect. Most importantly, because of Wang Zhong's good grades, the teacher would definitely dote on him in the future. Sure enough, because Wang Zhong was always the first in the entire school and had surpassed the second place by a lot, Wang Zhong was now treated as a delicious cake by the teachers. Not only did the teachers in his class care for Wang Zhong, but even the teachers in the other classes wanted the students to learn from Wang Zhong's fighting spirit. The principal even took Wang Zhong's essay to participate in the city's essay competition and won second place. Because the glory was too great, Ma Kai could not afford to take revenge on Wang Zhong. Throughout the entire 6th grade, Ma Kai had learned to keep a low profile. He had finally graduated. Wang Zhong lived up to his expectations and successfully got into the best junior high school in the school, a key junior high school. The characteristic of this junior high school was that the probability of entering a key senior high school was very high. It was one of the best schools in the city and was very good. The only drawback was that it was far from home. Every day, Wang Zhong had to get up early to go to school. In junior high school, Wang Zhong met a lot of friends, and everyone was willing to know him. In just 3 months, Wang Zhong suddenly became a celebrity in the school. It was very simple. His exam results were among the best, and he became the first in the 1st grade exam. Unfortunately, when Wang Zhong took this report card to his parents just said coldly, "What's the use of good grades? When the time comes, you will still have to get married. The family atmosphere made Wang Zhong have the idea of accommodation. There was no way. It was too tiring to get up early to go to school every day. Moreover, he also noticed a very serious problem. Although this body in this life was very beautiful, and was a great beauty in the making, it was too weak, and the quality of its body was not very good. So Wang Zhong was worried that if he was tired for a long time, his body would not be able to take it. On the weekend, after Wang Zhong ordered his brother to do the housework, he snatched his brother's pocket money and warned him, "I will use this money to buy something. Don't tell mom and dad, okay?" Song Baoqiang's lips squirmed, and he wanted to refuse. But he did not dare. Because every time he refused, his cruel sister would let him know why the flowers were so red. After going out, Wang Zhong went to buy some fried chicken wings to satisfy his appetite. While eating, he saw the beautiful clothes in the window by the roadside and wondered if he should buy a few beautiful clothes for himself. Since he was young, the only new clothes he wore was the school uniform. As for the other clothes he wore, they were all given to him by others. Wang Zhong did not care whether he was wearing second-hand clothes or not. In his opinion, it was fine as long as it was clean. But the problem was that he was not a young child anymore. He could not wear other people's clothes anymore. Everyone wanted to save face. If he kept wearing second-hand clothes, he would be laughed at. Moreover, he was also considering staying. If he stayed, he would buy a few more clothes so that it would be more convenient for him in the future. Entering the window, Wang Zhong bought a pair of jeans and a white shirt. This would add to his temperament and beauty. The money to buy the clothes was actually snatched by Wang Zhong from his brother, so he could not let his parents know about the clothes. Wang Zhong put it in his handbag and went home. While walking, Wang Zhong thought about how to get more money. If he wanted to refuse any of his parents' requests, then he must not be controlled by them. He must be financially independent before he can say no to his parents. Otherwise, it would be useless to say anything. It was just that he was too young and had to go to school. It was impossible for him to work. Although there were stocks in this world, without capital, it was impossible to invest in them. How can I make money? Subconsciously, Wang Zhong saw a hair salon in this row. In fact, it was very easy for a girl to make a lot of money, especially a beautiful girl. As long as she lay down, then... Bah, what am I thinking? Wang Zhong complained and scolded himself for thinking about this. To make money, he had to take the right path. As soon as he reached the stairs, an old man in his 50s looked at him with a smile. Wang Zhong recognized this strange old man. He was his neighbor. His surname was Qin, and many people called him Uncle Qin. This Uncle Qin used to repair electric cars downstairs. In recent years, his health had not been good, so he had been resting at home. Uncle Qin's wife had died of illness a long time ago. Uncle Qin's children were working abroad, so he was the only one at home. Seeing Wang Zhong go upstairs, his eyes lit up. "Little butterfly, where are you going home?" Wang Zhong frowned. He had long noticed that this Uncle Qin was a little strange. For example, when he went home, Uncle Qin would always stare at him. Once when he went upstairs, he deliberately rubbed his arm. This made Wang Zhong feel very disgusted. He did not know what he meant. Chapter 771. Seeing that this old man wasn't a good person, Wang Zhong didn't want to bother with him and continued walking. "Hey kid, I'm talking to you. Why aren't you talking?" Mr. Qin blocked Wang Zhong's path with a smile. "Mr. Qin, what do you want to say?" Wang Zhong asked. "I'm asking you why you didn't go to school today. Where did you go? Don't you know that it's not good for students to skip classes?" "Mister, is there sh*t in your brain? Do you have Alzheimer's? Do you want me to call 120 and send you to the hospital for treatment? Don't you know that today is a weekend? School is on holiday." Wang Zhong's series of harsh words stunned Mr. Qin. "Kid, how can you say that? Why do you care what I say?" From Mr. Qin's lecherous gaze, Wang Zhong could already guess what Mr. Qin wanted from him. For a moment, he felt incomparably disgusted. Naturally, his attitude wasn't any better. Ahem, all right then. Young lady, I'm just concerned about you. Can you speak properly? Let's put it this way. I have good food at home. Do you want to eat? If you want to eat, I'll treat you. Wang Zhong's entire body turned cold. He stared coldly at the disgusting old man. This old fart dared to molest him. Just because he was beautiful? Just because he was good-looking? No, that was not the final reason. It was because this old man was a pervert. He could not just let this go when dealing with people like him. Wang Zhong rolled his eyes and came up with a plan. He smiled and said, "All right then. I'll take the things home first. I'll go to your house later." All right. By the way, this is a secret between us. You can't tell anyone else. Mr. Qin smiled triumphantly. He took out a 10 yuan note and gave it to Wang Zhong. Take this money. Come to my house later and I'll give you 100 yuan. How about that? Although Mr. Qin was old, his retirement salary was quite high. After retirement, he even went into the electric car repair business. He had some spare cash. Wang Zhong did not stand on ceremony, but he did not take the money. He continued, "Isn't this too little?" Mr. Qin was amused. This girl was quite greedy. "How much do you want?" "Little sister. Give me 500 yuan first. I'll go to your house to play later," Wang Zhong said boldly. Mr. Qin didn't even frown as he replied, "All right then. Don't worry, little sister. I'm a very nice person." As he spoke, he gave Wang Zhong 500 yuan. After receiving the money and returning home, Wang Zhong prepared a voice recorder for himself. This recorder was bought by her parents for her brother to learn English. It had a recording function. After turning on the recording button, she put it in her bag and went out. When he arrived at Grandpa Qin's house, Grandpa Qin was overjoyed to see Wang Zhong. "Little girl, you're here. Come in." After they entered the house, the door was closed. Uncle Qin said, "Little girl, Grandpa will show you some TV. Do you want to watch it?" When Mr. Qin took out a bunch of porn, Wang Zhong felt terrible. These perverts are so disgusting. "Then what do you want to see?" Wang Zhong did not answer. Instead he asked, "Grandpa Qin, why are you touching me?" "Huh? If you do that again, I'll call the police." "Go away." "Ah, why are you doing that?" "Boo-hoo, don't take it off," Wang Zhong shouted loudly, causing Mr. Qin to be dumbfounded. Then, Wang Zhong rushed out of the door. Uncle Qin quickly chased after him. "Hey, what are you doing?" Mr. Qin was puzzled. Why was this child suddenly screaming for no reason? Was there something wrong with him? More importantly, he hadn't even touched her. How unromantic! At this moment, Wang Zhong was standing at the door, looking at Mr. Qin with a smile. Wang Zhong held the recorder in his hand and said, "Grandpa Qin, listen to this." "Grandpa Qin, why are you touching me? If you do that again, I'll call the police." "Go away." "Ah, why are you doing that?" "Boo-hoo, don't take it off." Wang Zhong had recorded the series of words that had just been said. "Grandpa Qin, what do you think will happen if I release this?" "You're framing me. How can you be so bad at such a young age?" Uncle Qin's expression changed. In an instant, he understood that this girl was framing him. How could there be such a despicable girl in this world? Wang Zhong shrugged and said, "I'm bad." "Who's really bad?" "You know very well." "Let me ask you, what's that on your table?" What Uncle Qin wanted to show him just now wasn't anything good. Wang Zhong even saw a few books about children. This Grandpa Qin wasn't a good person at all. Think about it carefully. If someone finds out what's in your room and I play the recording, what will happen? Because Wang Zhong had already turned off the recording, no matter how much Wang Zhong threatened him, it wouldn't matter. As expected, Uncle Qin was in a bad mood. "Young lady, How about this? Seeing that I'm old, let me off. I'll buy your recorder. I'll buy it, okay? Uncle Chin continued, didn't the teachers in school say that we have to respect the old and love the young? I'm already so old. You have to respect me. Get lost. Don't take advantage of your seniority, Wang Zhong scolded without holding back. Uncle Chin's expression turned ugly. Then what do you want? Settle it with money. I see that you're retired and your retirement salary is quite high. You must have a lot of savings at your age, right? Just give me a few tens of thousands and I'll give you the recorder. Otherwise, I'll call the police and sue you for indecency. A few tens of thousands. Uncle Chin was even worse now. Old people like him didn't lack money, but they were even more stingy. They would rather have their money swindled into investments and buy all sorts of health products than give it to anyone else. Hence, Uncle Chin didn't want to give out so much money. He shook his head and said, "No, this is extortion." So what if it's extortion? There were no surveillance cameras here. Wang Zhong wasn't afraid at all. Uncle Chin, as a retiree in this city, your monthly salary should be at least 5,000 or 6,000, right? 7,000 or 8,000. You don't lack money at all. What are you saving for? Wang Zhong smiled. Do you believe that I'll call the police and sue you for indecency? My parents will take you to court. What awaits you isn't just prison, it's also possible that your retirement benefits will be revoked. My retirement benefits will be revoked. Uncle Chin was stunned. He was old and couldn't tell if Wang Zhong was telling the truth or not. However, he subconsciously thought that it was very likely. He actually had a monthly pension of more than 6,000. In a year, it would be 70,000. Hence, he was afraid that Wang Zhong would really call the police. All right, looks like you won't cry until you see the coffin. I'll call the police right away. You can wait for your retirement benefits to be revoked. Wang Zhong didn't stand on ceremony and wanted to return to the house. Wait. I'll give you the money. How much do you want? Uncle Chin gritted his teeth and cursed his bad luck. He usually thought that this young lady was easy to bully because she was so pretty. He didn't expect her to be so fierce. Chapter 772. A moment later, Uncle Chin took out the 50,000 that he had saved and handed it to Wang Zhong reluctantly. I can give you the money, but you have to give me the recorder. Here you go. Wang Zhong took the money, threw down the recorder, and left. There was so much money in the bag that it felt heavy. Once home, the brother saw Wang Zhong's big bag and asked curiously, "Sister, what's in your bag?" Kids shouldn't ask so much. Oh. Their parents weren't home, so Song Baoqiang was very scared of Wang Zhong. He didn't dare to argue with Wang Zhong anymore. Not long after Wang Zhong returned to her room, she took a sturdy cloth bag and put the money in it. Then, she went downstairs to the bank. "Sister, I want to apply for a bank card," Wang Zhong said in a cute voice. "Okay." The staff at the counter liked such a pretty little girl from the bottom of her heart. But soon, she was stunned. This little girl actually wanted to deposit 50,000 at once. The lady said that she had seen countless people saving money, but this was the first time she saw such a young child saving so much money at once. But she didn't ask much. These days, children could get more than 100,000 at once. This was nothing. After depositing the money, Wang Zhong took the bank card and left. On the way, Wang Zhong flung her skirt and felt very emotional. She didn't expect her first bucket of gold to come from this way. It was a pity that the recorder was taken away. Otherwise, she could extort a few more times in the future. She didn't go home immediately. Instead, she bought a bowl of seafood ramen from a roadside noodle shop. She ate happily as a celebration. With this amount of starting capital, Wang Zhong started to think about investing in stocks. But it seemed that it wasn't easy to open an investment account when you were underage. That was a rule in this world. Forget it. It's good to have some interest. When she got home, she heard her parents questioning her brother. Why isn't the recorder with you? Did you drop it? The younger brother was so anxious that he was about to cry. I clearly brought her back from school. Xiao Dai, Daddy is asking you, did you see your brother's recorder? Song Jiansai asked, did you take it away? Of course, Wang Zhong wouldn't admit it. I didn't. You're not lying, are you? Hu Tsuelan walked over. She didn't quite believe it. In her opinion, her brother was so outstanding. How could he lie? Therefore, Xiao Dai must be talking nonsense. Wang Zhong understood his parents' psychology very well, so he explained, I'm definitely not lying. First of all, my grades are so good that I don't need the recorder at all. Second, the recorder isn't worth much. Why would I need it? What do you think? After hearing what Wang Zhong said, his parents felt that it made sense, so they questioned his younger brother again. Poor brother Baoqiang was so anxious that he cried. Although he was the apple of his parents' eye, the repeater cost more than 100 yuan. If he lost it, he would have to buy a new one. If his parents got angry, they would beat him up. Sure enough, in the end, Song Baoqiang's ears were twisted 180 degrees, causing Song Baoqiang to wail in pain. In the end, they couldn't find the recorder. Hu Tsuelan could only give up. Xiao Dai, what are you doing? Look at the time. Hurry up and cook. Hu Tsuelan was tired from beating him up. Only then did she realize that dinner hadn't been cooked. Dad, Mom, I've thought about it. I'm too far away from school. I have to wake up early for school every day. I'm too tired. I want to stay in the dormitory. Wang Zhong didn't cook. As expected, Song Jiansai was the first to be unhappy. He frowned. He took out a can of beer from the fridge and snorted. If you stay in the dormitory, who's going to do the housework? You're not allowed to go. His voice was firm. Hu Tsuelan also said, yes, there's a lot of work at home. I go to work every day and come home late. Your dad is the same. Daughter, you should stay at home. It's warm and comfortable. Plus, you can stay with Mom and Dad. Isn't that great? Wang Zhong laughed coldly in his heart. To him, he would rather not have such a home. But I'm too tired. I don't want to wake up so early to go to school every day. Tired? What does a kid like you know? You have to endure hardships to rise above others. Don't you know that? Song Jiansai took another sip of beer and continued scolding. In my opinion, if you don't know how to endure hardships at such a young age, you'll only be like this in the future. You're really a money loser. Well, since you say I'm a money loser, then let me stay in the dormitory. I promise I won't bother you. I won't do any housework in the future. Wang Zhong said bluntly. You dare? Song Jiansai glared. Don't you know how to behave? Don't you know that Mom and Dad work very hard every day? If you don't do the housework, who will? That's right. Xiao Dai, apologize quickly. Hu Tsuelan said. I won't. In short, whoever wants to do the housework can do it. I definitely won't do it again. With 50,000 yuan, he felt more confident. Oh sure. If you don't do it, let's see if I'll still give you pocket money in the future. Song Jiansai sneered as if he had caught Wang Zhong's weakness. Wang Zhong also sneered. I'm sorry. You have never given me pocket money. Have you forgotten? Song Jiansai was stunned. He recalled that he had never given Wang Zhong any pocket money. That's fine. You're not afraid of not giving you pocket money, right? I won't pay you tuition. Let's see what you can do. Song Jiansai snorted and took out his trump card. Wang Zhong knew he would say that. Fortunately, he had 50,000 yuan now. What was there to be afraid of? The tuition for a semester was only 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. It was enough for him to spend. However, even if he wasn't afraid, he couldn't let Song Jiansai off so easily. Wouldn't that be letting him off easy? Therefore, Wang Zhong said disdainfully, fine. If you don't want to give, then don't. I'll call the police. You're depriving me of my right to go to school. I can't do anything to you, but the police can. You're pissing me off. Song Jian-sai picked up the feather duster and whipped him. Wang Zhong wanted to run, but he couldn't because Hu Tsuelan had stopped him. His parents worked together and the feather duster fell like raindrops. That night, Wang Zhong's hands and feet were bruised from the beating. However, he was unyielding. He rushed out of the door and called the police, reporting his parents for domestic abuse. Soon, the police came and severely criticized his parents. In the end, they were severely criticized for favoring boys over girls. Song Jian-sai and Hu Tsuelan felt embarrassed after being lectured by the police. They blamed Wang Zhong to death in their hearts. However, they couldn't show it in front of the police. They had no choice. They had agreed to Wang Zhong's request for accommodation. They would also give Wang Zhong 100 yuan pocket money every month for him to spend. At that point, the matter had come to an end. The next day, Wang Zhong packed his things. After contacting his homeroom teacher, he registered for the school dormitory. From that day onwards, his school dormitory life officially began. Chapter 773. After moving into the school dormitory, life was indeed much easier. Wang Zhong was like the other girls who lived in the female dormitory. He washed his own clothes, showered together, and bathed together. Life was boundless. For meals, he would go to the cafeteria with a few girls. The food in the cafeteria wasn't delicious, but there weren't many choices in his life as a student. Wang Zhong persevered through all of this. In the first year of junior high, the school exam results were finally released. Wang Zhong had no doubt that he was first in the grade. Even in the whole city, he would be first. Such a top student naturally attracted the attention of the teachers. Wang Zhong received even more attention. The homeroom teacher was also very concerned about Wang Zhong. After learning about Wang Zhong's family situation, the homeroom teacher was very angry. What era was it now? There were still people who favored boys over girls. Therefore, the homeroom teacher used her own salary to buy Wang Zhong a second-hand mobile phone. She reminded Wang Zhong that if he needed help in the future, he must be sure to tell her immediately. I know, thank you, teacher. Wang Zhong was so touched that he was about to cry. Sure enough, teachers were the best. This year's New Year didn't go well. Wang Zhong didn't return home for many days. Only then did he realize that many things were missing. The bowls and chopsticks were smashed, 2 pots were missing, and the television and refrigerator were smashed into pieces. After asking his younger brother, Song Baoqiang, Wang Zhong found out that his parents had been quarreling recently. The reason was simple. Because his father drank, he went crazy at the construction site and broke the newly renovated floor and electrical appliances. All these things added up to more than 100,000 yuan, not to mention that these things had to be dismantled and redone. That was ridiculously expensive. Because of this, because the family lost so much money, Hu Tsuelan naturally made a scene. The two of them fought. I can't live like this, I can't live like this. That night, Hu Tsuelan made a scene again. Divorce, I want to divorce you. Divorce it is. I don't want to live with you anyway. Song Jian-sai said disdainfully. Okay, then we'll divorce. It's up to you. We'll split the assets in half and the son will be mine. Song Jian-sai smoked a cigarette. It wasn't that he didn't want the property, but he had used up all his money to pay off his debts. He had no money at all. Even now, they were still living in the same place. In your dreams. My son is mine. In fact, there was no benefit for Hu Tsuelan to have her son, but Hu Tsuelan didn't want Song Jian-sai to have an easy time. Get the hell out of here. My son has my surname. Why should he follow you? For Song Jian-sai, his son was a descendant of the Song clan. Of course, he was his son. The husband and wife were not willing to give in to each other, so they started to fight. Wang Zhong had no choice but to call the police. The whole family spent the new year in quarrels. After the new year, as expected, his parents went to settle the divorce procedures. In the end, his son followed his father, while Wang Zhong followed his mother. Half a year later, his mother married someone named Zhang Detsai. Zhang Detsai was also remarried and had a son. His son was 2 years older than Wang Zhong and was currently in high school. Zhang Detsai was just an ordinary worker with a monthly salary of more than 3,000. Logically speaking, his mother, Hu Tsuelan, wouldn't like him. But this Zhang Detsai was a local. His family demolished several houses and got hundreds of thousands. For the sake of money, Hu Tsuelan married him. Zhang Detsai was quite honest and treated Wang Zhong well. He bought new clothes for Wang Zhong several times. Every time Wang Zhong didn't stay in school during the weekend, Zhang Detsai would always give Wang Zhong something delicious to eat. However, these small favors didn't make Wang Zhong feel good. It was very simple. Because he felt that Zhang Detsai's eyes were strange every time he looked at him. Especially when he was wearing a skirt, Zhang Detsai would stare at his calves from time to time. Wang Zhong knew that Zhang Detsai was probably up to no good. Fortunately, he didn't live at home all the time. He spent most of his time at school. At the end of the second day, Wang Zhong didn't go home. Instead, he found a job distributing flyers to earn some pocket money. Finally, it was the third day. After finishing his work, Wang Zhong went home to prepare some clothes. Today, his mother went out to work. Zhang Detsai asked for leave to stay at home. Xiao Dai, when are you going to enroll in school? Zhang Detsai sat in the small living room and patted the sofa to call Wang Zhong over. Wang Zhong, of course, didn't go over. Instead, he packed his clothes and said, "In 3 days. Oh, Xiao Dai, come here. You're going to school soon. Dad wants to tell you something. If you want to tell me something, just say it." Wang Zhong said plainly, "You child, I'm educating you. I want you to study hard." Wang Zhong chuckled, "I'm always the first in my exams. How can you expect me to study hard?" Zhang Detsai thought about it. All of a sudden, he stood up and walked towards Wang Zhong. As Wang Zhong guessed, Zhang Detsai really had bad intentions while his mother was not here. However, if he thought that Wang Zhong was easy to bully, then he was wrong. Wang Zhong looked at Zhang Detsai coldly and said, "What do you want to do?" "I'll teach you something," Zhang Detsai said disgustedly. The next moment, Zhang Detsai rushed over. Wang Zhong was already prepared for this and sent a kick over. Because the angle was accurate, Zhang Detsai was kicked so hard that he arched his back and twitched in pain. Later, Wang Zhong picked up his phone, trotted to the door, grabbed the scissors and said, "Zhang Detsai, do you believe that I'll call the police right away?" "Xiao Dai, Dad was impulsive. Don't call the police. Even if you don't think about me, you have to think about your mother." "Oh, do you think I'll think so much?" Wang Zhong said bluntly. "Have you thought about it? Even if you call the police, I'm afraid the police won't believe you. After all, you don't have any evidence." Zhang Detsai's original plan was to look at Wang Zhong's young age and fool him. He didn't expect this little girl to be so fierce, like a little pepper. He didn't know which boy would benefit from her in the future. Wang Zhong said coldly, "You think I don't have evidence? You're looking down on me too much." Wang Zhong calmly took out his phone and opened a video. It played the scene where Zhang Detsai took off his clothes and rushed into Wang Zhong to attack Wang Zhong. In fact, when Wang Zhong went in, he had already turned on his phone's camera and positioned it so that he could leave behind evidence. Sure enough, this small detail was used by him. Zhang Detsai's face changed. "You actually filmed it. If not, how can people know you're bad?" Wait, I apologize, I'll give you money. Sorry, it's late. In fact, when I was talking to you, I was already. Wang Zhong retreated to the door. "Call the police. Waiting for you is the punishment of the law." Chapter 774. Zhang Detsai was really anxious at this time and scolded, "You unfilial daughter, have you thought that if I go in, you and your mother will be kicked out, you will be homeless, you will become homeless, you will become homeless? Wang Zhong shrugged and said, then let's wait and see. With that, Wang Zhong quickly left. After the police came, Hu Zuelan also came back. Seeing Zhang Detsai being taken to the police car by the police, Hu Zuelan's mood was very complicated. She thought for a long time, pulled Wang Zhong into the house and suddenly pleaded, Xiao Dai, Mom wants to discuss something with you. Don't tell me you want me to let Zhang Detsai go? Wang Zhong coldly said. Sure enough, Hu Zuelan sighed and said, Xiao Dai, you have grown up, you should know that being a woman is not easy. My salary is only 2,000, I don't even have a house here, how can I support you? Wang Zhong lightly said, what are you afraid of, I can help you get the money. How? Hu Zuelan's face was full of disbelief. It's very simple, you and Zhang Detsai are husband and wife, after the divorce, even if he can't give you half, he will give you a sum of money, this money is enough for us to live. Wang Zhong thought about it, Zhang Detsai is too disgusting, he must divorce her mother. Hu Zuelan worriedly said, can I really get a sum of money? Of course, I also have some research on the law, I know this better than you. At this moment, Hu Zuelan suddenly realized that her daughter has really grown up, she is much more capable than her. Then, okay, I will listen to you. For Hu Zuelan, she actually has no feelings for Zhang Detsai. Being with Zhang Detsai is completely to support the family. If she can have a sum of money, living will not be a problem in the future, then there is really no need to be with him. The plan was carried out according to Wang Zhong's plan. According to the law of this world, Zhang Detsai was sentenced to more than half a year for indecency. At the same time, Hu Zuelan asked for a divorce. Originally, Hu Zuelan and he have not been married for long, it is impossible to get much of the property. However, because Zhang Detsai molested Wang Zhong, the judge focused on this point. He thinks that Hu Zuelan and her daughter should be given special care. In the end, Zhang Detsai paid more than 300,000 in divorce fees. What Wang Zhong did not expect is that Zhang Detsai's son actually refused. The reason was simple. The money belonged to Zhang Detsai, and Zhang Detsai's money would eventually belong to his son. As Zhang Detsai's son, naturally, he will not take so much money. I'm telling you, mother and daughter, move out immediately. As for money, not a single cent, in Zhang Detsai's son, Zhang's, extremely arrogantly. At this time the man's. During an argument, the advantage of a man's strength would make a woman fearful. Zhang's, Zhang. Zhang. Zhang Wei was extremely proud. The next moment, he took out a kitchen knife and cursed, "You want money? Humph, I'll chop you to death." He was very proud, and it was clear that Wang Zhong and his mother are women, so they can't beat him. With Wang Zhong's current strength, he really can't beat him. However, this is a modern society. Losing a fight is shameful, and winning a fight is a loss of money. In this day and age, whoever fought would be considered brainless. Therefore, Wang Zhong didn't intend to fight at all and said to Hu Zuelan, "Let's go." Let's go. Hu Zuelan was stunned and somewhat unwilling. After all, it is more than 300,000. Wang Zhong secretly thought that Hu Zuelan can't see the situation clearly. It is useless to stay here. Instead, she will suffer. He has to be smart. Let's go. Wang Zhong didn't say anything and pulled Hu Zuelan down. As soon as they went down, Hu Zuelan was worried. What should we do now? There is so much money. Do we really not want it? Mom, you are getting more and more confused. How can I, Song Xiaodai, not want so much money? Then what about our daughter? Hu Zuelan sighed. She thought of her son and wondered how good it would be if Wang Zhong was a boy. He would definitely be able to control Zhang Wei. Wang Zhong said, "Humph, in this day and age, is there still a need to fight? If Zhang Wei doesn't want to pay, fine. Don't they have a house? Just seize it." Therefore, Wang Zhong used the legal weapon and asked the court to seize Zhang Detsai and Zhang Wei's house and enforce it. The lawsuit lasted for more than 3 months. Although Zhang Wei didn't want to pay, he realized that the impact of this matter was too great. First of all, Zhang Dezai deliberately didn't pay when he had the money. This would affect his future college education. Second, the court had already begun to seize their house. The next step was to auction it. This was enforcement. As long as you have property under your name, there is no need to worry about you not paying. In the end, Zhang Wei gave in and gave Hu Zuelan all the money. However, Wang Zhong took away all the money. "Mom, you're old and it's not easy for you to manage money. Let me manage it for you," Wang Zhong said lightly. Of course, this was all an excuse. Because in Wang Zhong's opinion, he still had a younger brother. What if Hu Zuelan wanted to give the money to his younger brother? Could it be that he had been busy with lawsuits and debts recently? After working so hard to run around, he wouldn't get anything in the end? Therefore, Wang Zhong naturally wanted to keep the money for himself. "Alright, I know you're worried that I'll give the money to your younger brother, right?" Hu Zuelan sighed. Wang Zhong nodded and didn't deny it. "Sigh, after I divorced your father, I've seen through it. Although you're a girl, you're not worse than a man. In the future, I'll listen to you." Hu Zuelan had seen through a lot of misfortune in her marriage over the years. "It's good that you can think it through." After taking the money, Wang Zhong rented a house for his mother near the school. He continued to live in the dormitory mainly because it was convenient and there were many good friends. Sometimes, he felt that it was quite good for girls to chat together. Naturally, Wang Zhong was one of the more taciturn ones amongst this group of girls. The main reason was that Wang Zhong felt that as a man, he had nothing to talk about with this group of girls. It was more childish. However, even he didn't expect that his cold personality would give him a nickname, Cold-Faced Goddess. As a goddess and a top student, Wang Zhong was naturally ranked by many students in the school. He was honored to be ranked first among all the goddesses. Many students would think of Wang Zhong when they heard the Cold-Faced Goddess. As for the other goddesses who were ranked behind him, they all felt that this ranking was very suitable because they were also convinced by Wang Zhong. Of course, because Wang Zhong was a goddess, there were naturally many stubborn boys who pursued him. However, without exception, they were all rejected by Wang Zhong. "I, Song Xiaodai, don't fall in love early. I will broadcast all the love letters to anyone who sends me." Chapter 775. I, Song Xiaodai, do not fall in love early. For those who send me love letters, I will broadcast these love letters. As the goddess of the school, after Wang Zhong recited several love letters to him, everyone finally saw his shrewdness. Sure enough, no one dared to send him a love letter. This made many girls look at him with admiration. If they were as powerful and domineering as Song Xiaodai, how good would that be? Finally, it was the 3rd year of junior high school entrance exam. The exam was not stressful for Wang Zhong. However, Wang Zhong was also troubled because he was thinking about what to do in the future. He was a girl, so naturally, he couldn't do manual labor. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong wondered if he should become an entertainment star. Entertainment stars were very glamorous, and the leading female stars had countless fans. The salary was also high, and the capable ones had set up their own studio. However, there was also a problem. That was the unspoken rules. Wang Zhong was also a superstar before. Although he was a male star, he was also very familiar with the unspoken rules. It can be said that if there was no one in this circle, many people would be subjected to the unspoken rules. If you were obedient, the people above would give you resources, give you exposure, and help you gain popularity. If you were not obedient, then sorry, you would be frozen. Even in that circle, you might be secretly drugged. Wang Zhong admitted that his family background was too poor. If he entered that circle, he would have to guard against fire, theft, and girlfriends. It was too tiring. Therefore, he didn't want to go down this road. Then, he would do business. For doing business, Wang Zhong also had a lot of experience. In the past, he had invested in 4S stores, real estate, and finance. These were handy. The only difficulty was that he didn't have startup funds. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong decided to find a stable job in the future. When he saved a lot of money, he would do business. This was also to ensure stability. After all, he found that this world was different from the previous world. With his current identity, he couldn't come into contact with the world's financial order, real estate information, and business information. Therefore, if he did business rashly, he was worried that he would fail. This time, he applied for the best high school in the city, Experimental High School. Xiao Dai, how do I do this question? Xiao Dai, can you please show me my essay? Xiao Dai, how do you memorize words? Because Wang Zhong was very outstanding, many students would ask him for help when they had questions about their studies. Wang Zhong was also a good person. He taught them one by one. In any case, he already understood these questions. Because of Wang Zhong's existence, there were more and more outstanding students in his class. When it came to the graduation exam, the admission rate for high school had reached an astonishing 100%. The class teacher and the teachers were all very excited about this exam. However, all good things must come to an end. Everyone was about to graduate. Before graduation, Wang Zhong, as the class monitor, organized a graduation party. For this gathering, the students were all dressed up beautifully. A person named Zhang Xiaowei attracted a lot of attention. They realized that Zhang Xiaowei had been sent there by a chauffeur in a luxury car. Obviously, Zhang Xiaowei was a hidden rich second generation. This scene shocked all the students. One had to know that although Zhang Xiaowei's grades were not bad, and he was the representative of the Chinese class in the class, however, he always kept a low profile. The way he usually dressed and ate was no different from the rest of them. Of course, some attentive students would also realize that when someone in the class was in trouble, Zhang Xiaowei would donate the most. His pocket money seemed to have never been cut off. From time to time, he would buy some snacks for everyone to eat. Now that they thought about it, he was not short of money at all. I didn't expect Zhang Xiaowei to be so rich. Yeah, he actually drove such a good car here. There's even a chauffeur. This car must be worth at least 3 million, right? Of course. Damn it, why didn't I find out that Zhang Xiaowei was a rich second generation earlier? Why, damn it. A pretty girl roared at the sky. Zhang Xiaowei looked at the eyes of his classmates. He was also very melancholic. Although he was young, his mind was more mature than his peers. When he was young, his parents told him that they were super rich and must keep a low profile outside. Originally, Zhang Xiaowei did not understand his parents' intention. When he was in elementary school, his classmates knew that he was rich, and their attitude towards him was somewhat complicated. Some people hated his wealth, and some people flattered him, hoping to get some pocket money from him. At this time, Zhang Xiaowei understood. Therefore, when he entered junior high school, he chose to keep a low profile. Now that he had graduated, he wanted to tell his classmates proudly, "I'm not pretending anymore. I'm telling the truth. I'm a super rich second generation." Of course, the most important thing was that he wanted someone to know about his existence. He hoped that the person he liked would take a look at him. When he thought of this person, he subconsciously glanced at the seat. Wang Zhong was playing with his phone alone. He was browsing a website, thinking about what sanitary products to buy. When he thought of these sanitary products, Wang Zhong had a headache. He was really embarrassed. At this moment, his heart skipped a beat. He felt a gaze looking at him. This was a woman's sixth sense. It was usually very accurate. When he looked over, it turned out that Zhang Xiaowei was looking at him. When Zhang Xiaowei saw Wang Zhong looking at him, his heart beat faster. This was the goddess that haunted his dreams. For her, Zhang Xiaowei did not hesitate to expose his identity as a super-rich second generation. In fact, when they were in school, Zhang Xiaowei tried to pursue Wang Zhong from time to time. For example, he bought her delicious food. Even on Wang Zhong's birthday, he would give her gifts and ask Wang Zhong out for milk tea. However, Wang Zhong still ignored him. On the contrary, Wang Zhong always said earnestly, "Zhong Xiaowei, you're still young. In the future, you should save money and study hard. Do you understand?" Zhong Xiaowei was very disappointed. He thought that he was very outstanding, but he did not understand why Wang Zhong ignored him. He had no choice but to take advantage of today's last gathering before graduation to find Wang Zhong and lay his cards on the table. He would let her see that he was a super-rich second generation. Would she be convinced? Zhong Xiaowei had a good plan. When he saw Wang Zhong, he pretended to walk over. While walking, he chatted with his classmates. While chatting, Zhong Xiaowei looked at Wang Zhong from time to time. What made him speechless was that Wang Zhong didn't even look at him. This made him feel very frustrated. Why? Why is this? Why doesn't Song Xiaodai look at me? Zhong Xiaowei was in pain. Suddenly, he had an idea. He found the waiter and whispered a few words to him. Soon, the waiter understood and shouted to the students. "Students, Mr. Zhong Xiaowei said that everyone can eat and drink as much as they want. Mr. Zhang will pay for tonight's expenses." Chapter 776. Young Master Zhang will pay for tonight's meal. As soon as this was said, everyone was stunned. Then, the audience burst into deafening applause. Facing such a huge applause, Zhong Xiaowei was very excited. Because of excitement, his whole face was red. In the past, he felt that being rich was not a big deal, but now, he was glad that he was born in a super-rich family. Zhong Xiaowei pressed his hand and smiled, "We are all classmates, let's continue to eat." With that, he picked up a glass of Sprite and drank it in one gulp. The students thanked him one after another. Wang Zhong was also very surprised. He didn't expect Zhong Xiaowei to be a little rich hidden in the class. However, a rich person is a rich person. Why did Zhong Xiaowei look at him from time to time when he was talking? Was he saying this for him to hear? Thinking of this, Wang Zhong felt that it was more and more likely. It was very simple. Zhong Xiaowei used to stick to him for a while, giving him this and that, which made him very speechless. Now it seemed that Zhong Xiaowei still didn't give up. Sure enough, Zhong Xiaowei walked towards Wang Zhong in the next moment. Zhong Xiaowei walked over with a bottle of orange juice in his hand and smiled at Wang Zhong. "Xiaodai, why aren't you eating?" "I'm on a diet recently." Wang Zhong naturally wouldn't say that he was browsing for hygiene products, so he responded casually. At the same time, Wang Zhong was thinking about how to reject Zhong Xiaowei and let him stop pursuing her. "You're still on a diet? To be honest, Xiaodai, in my mind, you are the most beautiful goddess. There is no need to lose weight at all." With that, Zhong Xiaowei couldn't help but feel proud. This flattery would definitely make Xiaodai very happy. Unfortunately, Zhong Xiaowei was wrong. His words made Wang Zhong frown. Is there such a bad way of pursuing a girl these days? Wang Zhong could only squeeze out a smile at Zhong Xiaowei's words. "Why aren't you eating?" "I had a bowl of bird's nest when I came here. I'm a little full." "Oh, your family is so rich. You even eat bird's nest as a snack." Wang Zhong casually said. "It's okay. By the way, I heard from my mom that bird's nest is very nourishing for girls. It can beautify and nourish their skin. It can also help with weight loss. If you want, I can give it to you," Zhong Xiaowei said. Wang Zhong said, "Forget it. I don't really like to eat these luxuries." Sure enough, she was a good girl. Song Xiaodai didn't want to eat these good things. Wang Zhong didn't expect that the more he didn't want these good things, the more Zhong Xiaowei thought his quality was good. Such a girl could not be found even if one searched for her with a lantern. "Alright, Lil Dai, let me tell you a piece of good news." Zhong Xiaowei continued. "What is it? It must be a good thing. Aren't you going to experimental high school?" "I'm going there too. I asked my dad to ask around. I'm in the same class as you." What a coincidence! Wang Zhong was surprised. Yes, I was also surprised to hear this news. Wang Zhong nodded. He guessed that Zhang Xiaowei must have used some of his acquaintances to operate in secret. Otherwise, how could it be so coincidental? Thinking of this, Wang Zhong was both angry and amused. In order to pursue him, this Zhang Xiaowei was really willing to do anything. I can only blame myself for being too charming and beautiful. Alright, Lil Dai, what are you going to do this summer? I'm going to travel abroad. Do you want to come? Wang Zhong naturally refused and said, I'm going to work. Work? Well, my family has no money. I don't have time to play like you. Then I'll work too. Zhang Xiaowei quickly said, Where are you going to work? At this time, Wang Zhong was really annoyed by the questions. If Zhang Xiaowei knew about it, wouldn't he come looking for me? So he shook his head and said that he didn't know. Zhang Xiaowei was very disappointed and said, If you find it, you must tell me. We are classmates. If we work together, it's good to take care of each other. Okay. Wang Zhong nodded and agreed. Soon, the food was served. Because everyone was young, no one drank. Everyone replaced the wine with drinks and toasted each other. During the meal, there were many boys who looked for Wang Zhong to drink. They were about to separate. These classmates who regarded Wang Zhong as the goddess in their hearts were very reluctant. Class monitor, if you encounter any trouble in the future, you must tell me. I will definitely help you. Class monitor Lil Dai, if you encounter something unhappy, you must tell me. Let you be happy, right? Wang Zhong said. The classmate who spoke was stunned and waved his hand with a red face. Of course not, I didn't mean that. Well, I, Song Xiaodai, understand everyone's intentions. Cheers everyone. Anyway, everyone is in the chat group. If there is anything in the future, we can chat. Well, okay. The classmates were all excited and the atmosphere was getting lighter and lighter. When they were almost done eating, everyone left. Wang Zhong also went back. The first thing he did was to prepare the clothes he would need to work outside. Lil Dai, you are a big child. Be careful when you go out alone. When they went out, Hu Zuelon sighed and said, I know, you can rest assured. Wang Zhong said in an unconcerned tone. This time, he chose to go out to work in a big city, Mahai City. Mahai City was a well-known first-tier city. Every graduation season, there were many college students who came here to look for work. The reason why Wang Zhong found this place was to broaden his horizons and make money on the way. Soon, Wang Zhong found a job as a waiter in a fast food restaurant. Work made him very fulfilling, and he also made a lot of friends here. In the spare time from work, Wang Zhong also took out 100,000 yuan and tried to invest in the stock market. Unfortunately, the stock market was not vigilant these days. The market did not rise much, and some small stocks were half dead. When the summer vacation was about to end, the money invested in the stock market lost tens of thousands. This gave Wang Zhong some headaches. Fortunately, he did not invest a lot of money at the beginning. Otherwise, the hundreds of thousands he had lost would be huge. It was finally time to go to school. On the first day of reporting to high school, Wang Zhong was amazed by the majestic school. This is the foundation of a good school. It is really majestic. There were 3 other girls who lived in the same dormitory, and they were all good-looking. Wang Zhong got along well with them, and soon they became good sisters and best friends. Just like in junior high school, Wang Zhong became a celebrity in the school before the first semester was over. It couldn't be helped. Wang Zhong's academic results were really too good. Even the principal was shocked by him and declared that Wang Zhong's academic results were the best in recent years. Therefore, Wang Zhong became the goddess of experimental high school again. In the second year of high school, Wang Zhong was already slim and graceful, with a height of 1.7 meters. This height was considered very tall among girls. High school was very stressful, but even so, Wang Zhong found that many of the girls around him had boyfriends. This made Wang Zhong feel that it was so easy to chase girls. Xiao Dai, my boyfriend said that he is going to eat hot pot tonight with his friends in the dormitory. Let's go together. On this day, her good sister Lin Xiaoxiao said. Chapter 777. In school, there were quite a lot of social gatherings between dorms. In fact, it was more of a blind date in disguise than a friendship gathering. For this kind of thing, Wang Zhong naturally refused. I'm sorry, Xiaoxiao, I still have homework to do. Xiaodai, it's actually my birthday today, let's go together. Lin Xiaoxiao shook Wang Zhong's arm and said. Wang Zhong had no choice but to say, okay. Lin Xiaoxiao's boyfriend was called Wu Dan. He had a bold personality, and like Lin Xiaoxiao, he liked to play. There were 4 girls on Wang Zhong's side, and 4 boys on Wu Dan's side. As soon as they went over, the other 3 boys looked at Wang Zhong in a daze. A handsome boy was the boldest. He took the initiative to stand up and pull out a chair for Wang Zhong. He smiled and said, I've heard a lot about our school's #1 campus belle, please sit. To be honest, Wang Zhong was embarrassed. At the same time, he was a man after all. Looking at the boys who were staring at him lecherously, he felt speechless. After the conversation, he knew that the boy who pulled out the chair for him was called Sun Wenbo. Among this group of boys, Sun Wenbo was the most eloquent. He kept saying that his father was a big boss, and he would pay for this meal. Then he bragged about how many friends he had outside. Many big brothers knew him and gave him face. In the future, when he went out to sing or something, it would be free of charge. In Wang Zhong's ears, there was a large proportion of bragging. But the other girls didn't understand. Strictly speaking, they hadn't entered society yet. When they saw Sun Wenbo talking so much, saying that he was a rich second generation and knew a lot of big brothers outside, if these words were true, it would be easy for people to have a good impression of him. But Wang Zhong knew that these were fake. He wasn't a roundworm in Sun Wenbo's stomach. The reason why he was sure that it was fake was very simple. A person who could really make people give face couldn't be like Sun Wenbo, because such a person would definitely be beaten up if he went out. When the meal was almost finished, Sun Wenbo proposed to go to karaoke. After that, this guy kept winking at his roommates. These days, bragging did have some innate advantages. For example, right now, this group of boys was led by Sun Wenbo, and a few of them listened to Sun Wenbo. So Wu Dan said, then go. Xiaoxiao, I'll bring the cake for you later. All right then. Lin Xiaoxiao was gentle and listened to Wu Dan. I don't think that's a good idea. We still have to wake up early tomorrow. A girl named Shen Naza was a little unhappy. High school was one of the busiest semesters in one's entire academic life, because the next step was to take the university entrance exam. The students who could get into experimental high school were basically the top students in their respective junior high schools. They were not playful. At this moment, Wang Zhong also said, forget about singing. It's already very late. Don't do that. It's boring, isn't it? Sun Wenbo smiled. Don't worry, I know the boss there. The drinks are free. I'll drive you back later. Then let's go. Wu Dan became excited when she heard that the drinks were free. Lin Xiaoxiao also said, Xiaodai, Naza, let's go play for a while. We'll be back in an hour. After all, today was Lin Xiaoxiao's birthday celebration. Wang Zhong couldn't refuse directly. He could only nod and say, okay, let's go play. Sun Wenbo was overjoyed. He felt that he could definitely get Song Xiaodai. When he got the campus girl, Song Xiaodai, he would be in the limelight. Thinking of this, his thoughts were clear. He felt that even if he had to use his mother's credit card to treat them, it would be worth it. In his opinion, only by acting cool and making everyone think that he was a rich second generation, that he had the ability so that he could be valued by others. After arriving at the KTV, Sun Wenbo first found the lobby manager and told him, I'll pay the bill later, but when you come in, you have to say that it's free of charge. Do you understand? The lobby manager secretly cursed in his heart that there were still people who didn't have money and wanted to learn how to act cool, but his mouth said, "Understood." Later, Sun Wenbo used his mother's credit card to pay for 2 boxes of beer, a box of 288 yuan. He also bought some snacks. The total cost of the box was more than 1,000 yuan. Later, Sun Wenbo triumphantly entered the KTV and said, "I haven't been here for a long time. The lobby manager must have pulled me to chat with him." Sun Wenbo, you are really amazing. You actually know the manager here, but how did you know each other? Wu Dan said with a look of admiration. It can be seen that Sun Wenbo's acting cool for a long time has not only frightened some girls, but even some boys believe in him, thinking that he has great power and is doing well outside. Soon, the lobby manager led the waiter and brought all the drinks over. "Mr. Sun, today's box is free of charge for you. You can have fun." The lobby manager smiled. "Then I'll have to trouble you." "No trouble, no trouble." The waiter frowned, Wu Dan, and even Shen Naza looked at Sun Wenbo in surprise. Listening to his bragging and really seeing it were two different things. Now everyone really saw Sun Wenbo's power. Looking at the surprised eyes around him, Sun Wenbo was very proud. Look, just a few words and these people believed it. What made him depressed was that Wang Zhong on the side was calmly drinking a bottle of unopened mineral water. This Song Xiaodai didn't even look at him from the beginning to the end. If she didn't look at him, wouldn't his acting be in vain? Sun Wenbo walked over with the beer. "Xiaodai, drink some. Everyone is happy. If you want to drink, drink by yourselves. I still have to go to the morning class tomorrow." Wang Zhong responded, "Everyone has to go to class. Isn't this Xiao Xiao's birthday? Be happy." Sun Wenbo tried to persuade him, thinking in his heart, "If you don't drink, how can I take you down?" However, he said a lot, but Wang Zhong didn't drink. Not only did he not drink, but Wang Zhong also said to Lin Xiaoxiao, Shen Naza, and the other girls that tomorrow's class is very important. If they can't get up, it will be troublesome. And it's very late. If we go back so late, if the dormitory auntie finds out that we drank and tells the teacher, it will be troublesome. This kind of experimental school has a very good education quality, but at the same time, in order to create a good learning atmosphere and supervise students' learning, the teachers are very strict with the students' management. If the girls came back from drinking late at night and the teacher found out, they will definitely be criticized. The most important thing is that if the students know about it, it will have a bad influence. After Wang Zhong said this, Lin Xiaoxiao and Shen Naza nodded. "Wu Dan, although today is my birthday, drinking is really not good, and I don't know how to drink." Lin Xiaoxiao said, "I don't know how to drink either." Shen Naza said. Wang Zhong said, "Then let's sing for a while. After eating the cake, we will go back." Really don't drink." Sun Wenbo looked at the 2 boxes of wine he bought and felt a little distressed. If he knew, he wouldn't have bought it. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.